Hello, and welcome to Roll for your favorite show on the Citadel. Today we're playing Mass Effect Mercs, our new Mass Effect 4-shot with our lovely cast here. So, obviously, Tyler and Mark were on our last Mass Effect show. But since we have two new people, and although Katie has been on before, she was just guesting on Ascension for a little bit, we'll get the two new people to introduce themselves and make themselves highly embarrassed before we get going. Let's start with Bunny. Bunny, who are you?
Thanks, I'm Bunny. No, I'm the Roll20 community manager, so I don't actually stream very often. I tend to be on the production side of it and the coordination and casting side. So this is a very interesting time for me.
Okay, and Katie, what about you?
Hi, I'm Katie Peters Plays. I stream on Twitch sometimes, play a lot of space and horror games, but I do a lot of tabletop too. And I'm really excited to be a part of this. So I don't know, I'm just ready to dive in and meet everybody.
Okay. Right, in which case we will go very quickly through all the announcements and the shilling and then get right down to it. So, today's announcements. Which voice should I pick? Which one's this? Oh, this is the Hannah.
This one, Solarian. I'm gonna do this one. Today's supporter is Aisley the Dice Dragon. It's pronounced Ashley. Ashley the Dice Dragon. Ashley, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ashley. You are a Dice Dragon. I don't know if they exist in Mass Effect, but they certainly could. A lot of D4s to stand on. It'd be terrible. Also, Mass Effect CSEC final character sheets many A's in are now out on Patreon, and Mass Effect Merc sheets are coming soon. So if you do want to check out our Mass Effect final character sheets from last week, you can do so. And if you want to check out, I don't know why he's a Cockney Solarian, but he is now. Mass Effect Merc sheets will be out soon as well if you want to see our ridiculous characters. And Ascension enemy stats are coming to Patreon soon as well. There you go. A lot of things coming to Patreon. If you want to go check them out, feel free. I can turn this off now.
Right, there you go. That's our announcement for today. So, if you want to support the show, go to Patreon, as you might have guessed from that, which allows us to do loads of stuff like pay our lovely cast for their amazing effort and time. Also, there's a load of stuff on there, different tiers, different things to get involved with, access to our Discord at any tier. If you want to support on Twitch, you can subscribe, you get access to emotes, access to the Discord again. And if you want to do YouTube member, you also get access to the Discord and some emotes. And also you can tip and use bits as well, and they go down there and land on the logo and balance precariously on top of the Mercs bit. So if you want to do that, you can. Also, telling people about the show. That is incredibly helpful and very much appreciated if you want to just tell people about the show, like retweet, post GIFs of Volus and Hannah and Drell and Quarian and Asari and whatever. Go for it. That'd be very much appreciated. So, with that all said and done, I know I've gone through this very quickly. We're going to start getting in to Mass Effect Mercs. So, you all have been hired by an unknown individual who merely calls themselves Hades to go to the Hades Gamma Cluster and find out what Cerberus are doing in the area, as there have been rumors of a Cerberus base. You're being paid both to find out what's going on, find any evidence or research, and destroy whatever they're doing there. For this, you're being paid the grand sum of 800,000 credits. Recently, two new systems have been found in the Hades Gamma Cluster, accessible through the system of Dis. Acheron and Leth. Leth is largely uninhabited. There are a couple of prospecting sites out there, but Acheron, however, seems to contain a wealth of minerals, particularly the world of Zagreus, which is human breathable, provided you don't spend too much time outside, because it's a bit of an irritating atmosphere. It contains a lot of rare earth minerals, and there has been a rush to be able to set up systems and settlements with the aim of doing more long-term excavation. We're going to open as your ship, the Megara, a little Batarian gunship that you have had for a while and modified to your specifications, appears at the edge of the system. as we do the very classic Mass Effect camera pan through of the inside, seeing you all at your stations, we'll start off with the helm. Who is at the helm, and what do you look like?
Thanks. You had to start with me.
Of course I did.
Eileen Vila is a light purple-skinned Asari sitting in kind of worn white armor with her legs up on something that looks kind of like a Krogan Warhammer. Looking fairly relaxed considering the situation. And she's just kind of fiddling with something in her hands, like just a coin, a credit or something.
Okay. As the camera goes past her and settles on the gunnery station, who do we see there?
There you see Dibagek, but he's not exactly situated and ready, prepared to shoot at all. He's situated and wedged himself somewhere in the corner of the room, and he's got a nice little cup of tea as he's sipping it while wedged in the corner, legs crossed, in a precarious manner, just wedging him up there and just having a good old time.
Getting to the navigation and communication console, what rotund figure do we see perched on this seat?
Well, the seat has actually been ratcheted up quite a bit more than it might usually be, because the person sitting at it, as you mentioned, is quite rotund, but also very short. In fact, sort of looks like an armored beach ball wearing a gas mask. This is Edgar Poe of Volus, who sits deep in thought. And as he does so, 3 biotic orbs rotate and revolve around his hand.
Yes, most interesting.
And finally, towards the rear, where the engineering station sits, who do we see?
You see Lesimara sitting at a console, but she's not focused on the console. She's in her standard Quarian hermetic suit with mishmash of like different kinds of armor that she's collected through her travels. And she's bent over and her eyes are glowing and she's playing with her Omni tool, and you see little shots of flames coming out of it, all while her leg is just jiggling at a very rapid rate. Very lost in thought. Not really looking like she's doing her job, but more messing with her tools.
Okay. And as this motley crew head in the system towards the world of Zagreus to begin looking for whatever Cerberus are doing in the vicinity, we'll let you all decide where you want to go. The main settlement on Zagreus is called Thanatos, and it has a number of outskirt settlements, which are little mining colonies that vary from the initial setup of a mining colony to just places prospecting, really. There's no full-blown mining operation as of yet. Most of the settlements around Thanatos are several hundred people, and they're scattered across the largest continent. That would tend to be the best place to start off, since it is the world with the most population in the area. But I'm going to hand it over to you. It's your ship, your mercenaries. You're getting paid.
Perhaps we should discuss our objective, fellow agents of Hercules. That is an acronym, by the way. It is an acronym.
Oh, we've been over this. We don't have to announce our names to ourselves.
I think it is wise. It is a way to center ourselves before a mission. Remind us of who we are.
Can you remind me what it is again? Like what it stands for? I keep forgetting the last.
Oh, yes, of course. It stands for Highly Elite Reconnaissance Combat Unit Logistics Espionage Squad. We cover all the bases.
Okay. I'll remember that next time. I'm gonna remember that.
We did have a catchphrase involving 12 labors, but our marketing department thought it was unwieldy.
Yeah, because it's too much to talk about.
Fair enough.
Leslie, don't bother to remember. I refuse to remember the acronym. It's been 80 years. I will not. I refuse.
Well, to be fair, the acronym has stood for several different things over time. It is somewhat fluid.
You change it every 3 years at minimum. I refuse to remember.
Hey, as long as the E still stands for espionage, I'm still a part of the squad. That's all that matters to me.
But our current objective, what is our best course of action, my comrades?
While you've been talking, we're almost in range of Thanatos.
Which place has the best tea?
I am sure that this Hades will be able to provide tea for guests.
I don't know. It sounds like it's the most dangerous place. I feel like Leslie would have a problem with that.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Every time it's always fine. It'll be fine.
I would advise you all not to consume any pomegranates while we are there.
Why?
You get it? Pomegranates. Hades? No? Hello? Hello?
You're the
Read
only one obsessed with Earth culture.
Wait, are the pomegranates bad? I need to know if the pomegranates are bad. Should I not eat the pomegranates?
Pomegranates are totally poisonous, but for whatever reason, Earthlings enjoy them to a certain extent. So if you eat too many of them, I hear you choke on the seeds and then you die and then plants grow out of you.
Okay, I won't eat a pomegranate. What do they look like?
Fun fact, because you're Quarian, pomegranates are actually poisonous to you. Because Quarians have to have a different type of amino acids to most other races except Turians. So yeah, you would maybe die.
Okay, no pomegranates for me. I just don't want to accidentally eat one. I haven't seen many of them. I've only heard about them.
Diva's gonna pull out a random object and say, "They look like this." Actually, this is actually one of them. You want to hold it?
I take a step back and I just kind of I'm just staring at what's in his hand. You see my glowy eyes like widen behind my tinted glass.
Okay, I got it. I'll avoid those.
Are we landing at Thanatos or not?
As long as they have lots of pomegranates.
This was the arrangement, was it not?
Well, you started going on about Hercules unit and...
Yeah, let's land there.
Indeed.
Oh, by the way, Leslie, they don't look like this. I actually don't know what they look like.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about them. I just never have seen one in person because I had a very strict diet where I came from.
In ancient Earth myth, the goddess Persephone was forced to stay within the realm of Hades for half the year because of the pomegranate seeds she had consumed. Perhaps this should be a lesson to us.
While they're all talking, I'll set us on course.
And Leslie, that's because she grew roots after she ate them. She got rooted down as the plants grew out of her body.
I don't remember that part, but...
Shh, Poe, shut up.
Is that true? Is that true?
Well, the myths are, of course, largely metaphorical. I doubt that Mount Olympus, etc., actually existed, but... oh, we've arrived.
Hello, this is Thanatos Control. Hello, this is Thanatos Control. Come in.
Right.
Thanatos Control, we're currently in the Megara, yes?
Oh, FYI, because the Megara is a frigate or smaller craft, it can land on planetary surfaces.
Oh, okay. So,
Control, this is the Megara.
Hello,
We
Megara.
request-
Are you wanting to provide passage down to the surface?
Yes, we seek to land.
Very well. I'll send you landing coordinates. Welcome to Zagreus.
Thank you, Control.
Oh, do you know that when you talk, you sound like the guy from the cult classic Star Wars from forever ago when that came out?
Which fellow? Is it am I the daring smuggler? Is that who you refer to?
Yeah, totally. You're a daring smuggler.
Yes.
You
yes.
bad crime little man.
What do we do next? Like, what's our plan? Do we?
We have been cleared for landing.
Okay, but when we do land, do you know how I like to have a plan before we do things? So I can anticipate the next step. Do we talk to someone?
Yes, our employer, no doubt.
Oh, that's right.
You must calm yourself, Leslie.
I'll take some deep breaths.
Leslie, don't you have a pre-mission checklist you made for yourself? Why don't you go through that?
Okay.
I pull up my Omni tool and I just start checking. I've already done it all, so I'm just going through and like checking things off that I've done, but it's keeping me distracted.
The list is like take long, slow breaths for 20 seconds. Next step.
Just deep breaths. You just hear like as I'm like going through my list.
Eileen's definitely added things to it to make sure it takes you the amount of time of when we're go to land and when we land, so we can focus on something else.
If Deba can, he would put avoid pomegranates at all costs on the list.
You added another one, sent it there.
As I'm scrolling, I see that I'm like, I don't remember adding that, but I don't check it off, but I leave it on there so I don't forget.
You put like a question mark after it?
Yeah, like I add a question mark. But that one stays on the list. I don't check that one off.
Okay. Landing is relatively easy. There is no check unless someone wants to roll and have bad things happen. I'm looking at Tyler because that's what happened last time. But it's a pretty standard procedure. The atmosphere here is a bit thinner than it would be on something like Earth. The gravity is a tiny bit lower, but not perceptibly so. And the actual lack of space traffic and honestly most planetary travel, it being a relatively lowly populated world, means that coming in is pretty easy. You can just let the autopilot do the work and it will bring you down over the settlement. As you come in, you probably come in west to east, so you'll come in over a large, flat expanse, which looks like it was probably volcanic once upon a time, maybe a few million years ago, and has since settled into a very large, flat area covering most of the one side of the continent. You see the occasional flicker of lights, which could be transport drones or something going to and from mines, little colonies surrounding. But as you get towards Thanatos, it is most obviously the biggest settlement in the area. And even then, it's not that big. It's probably a few thousand people at most. And in front of you to the west, the east, extends a little mountain range, which looks like it's probably where one continent is collided with another and pushed up this kind of wall of mountains. As you come in, you land with relative ease. The entire gunship kind of rattles and creaks a bit. Its age and somewhat shoddy Batarian workmanship showing. But as you settle down, the little holographic console at the communication station flickers to life. And you get a message from the one you know as Hades. I'm gonna crank up the voice modulation for this.
Hercules. I see you have successfully made it to Thanatos.
Yes, Hades, we are there now.
Excellent. I'm afraid I have little I can do to direct you. Unfortunately, the one person who gave us information that there's a separate space in the area expired soon after we discussed this.
Don't blame me. Although it could have been me.
Thank you.
We will endeavor to complete our objective nonetheless, Hades. Do not worry. Few are better suited to wrestle with Cerberus than Hercules. Do you see what I did there?
I very much appreciate your sense of humor, Poe. In addition, from what we understand, the individuals known as Minos and Radamantus are also in the area. These are high-level Cerberus operatives. Each one you manage to take down will also net you an additional 100,000 credits.
You were breaking up there, Hades. Repeat the names again, please.
Minos and Radamanthus.
I sense a theme.
Well, makes it more interesting to keep a solid theme in mind when designing an operation, I find. I've always found culture and history an interesting subject.
We are of one mind in this matter, Hades. Poe signing off. If there is nothing further, we shall begin.
Very well, contact me when it is done.
So I shall. There you have it, my colleagues. Our objective lies before us. And a noble endeavor it is as well.
I'm ready. Are we ready? Right?
Are we prepared to disembark? Or shall we scan further using the ship's instruments?
I mean, getting a bird's eye view is always a great perspective, if you ask me, as he climbs onto the ceiling.
I agree with Gek. I think we should maybe, let's scan.
Okay. If someone wants to scan, someone need to have to go over to the science and navigation console. What are you scanning for?
That's my station, so I guess I might as well.
Excellent.
Have we been given any particular readings regarding, say, energy signatures of Cerberus equipment or spikes in certain types of radiation, that sort of thing? Like, what is a telltale sign of a Cerberus base?
Unfortunately, there's no real telltale sign. They're very good at hiding their tracks. Obviously, high energy signatures and readings that are not something that would be matching what the, a small mining colony might have, a large generator, etc.
Okay. Poe, he does have knowledge of science, so he's basically, and knowing what a typical mining colony, what might be there, he's going to essentially look for anything anomalous in a standard scan. So if there's anything that just sort of piques his interest, would this be an investigation roll or electronics?
So to do a scan, it would be starships and systems, sensors, scan. It will be an investigation roll.
All right, here it comes. There we go, 23.
While scanning the surface of Zagreus in and around the colony, you don't find anything that would be indicative of a very large power source. However, there is a slight anomaly out in space nearby, kind of at the periphery of your senses, which would indicate probably a small military vessel. And if you were to guess, it would be Geth.
Okay, I'll inform the others of this.
I highly doubt any Geth would be working with Cerberus, but we cannot eliminate that possibility.
Geth? Why would there be Geth?
That's a very good question.
Because Geth are a bunch of fun bags to knock down.
I mean, I can.
Let us all remember our true objective here and the true enemy.
Well, we're also gathering
Pomegranates?
information. You think they have pomegranates? The Geth may have information about goings on. They like to collect data.
True enough.
However, now are we planet side yet? Have we landed?
Yeah, you've landed.
Should we make any possible inquiries here on the ground first, then investigate this Geth anomaly?
Sounds like a plan.
Very well. Let us prepare to disembark.
Do you think the Geth have weaponized pomegranates?
Oh, 100%. They use them in their grenade launchers.
I am suddenly regretting my mythological tales. Do not concern yourself, Lessie.
Oh, okay. I get worried about. I don't think the Geth are going to be excited to see me.
Yes, there may be some friction, but rest assured we are capable of protecting you. In any case, do not ingest anything your biology is incapable of digesting. I think that's just generally a good rule. It's a good rule of thumb to follow, yes.
Smart.
Even takes a really large bite out of a large fruit and just looks at Leslie.
I notice it in my peripherals, but I try to not I'm trying to calm down before we go on land and actually get off the ship and not give Gek the benefit of getting under my skin.
Okay. Gek, your passive insight is really high. You're definitely getting under her skin. Under her suit, maybe this would be the Corin expression?
Oh.
Well, the shipping has started already. You haven't even left the damn ship. Okay, right. Do you want to leave the damn ship?
Yes.
Okay. As the rear hatch extends downwards, you can finally get this glimpse of sunlight breaking in. The sun here is a very bright white dwarf, and it kind of sheds a very it's a much more artificial light than maybe you're used to from a yellow sun. It's kind of blindingly reflective off of some of the nearby solar paneled roof tiles. Now, do you want to leave on foot, or would you like to take your Theramachus?
How close are we to the settlement, to the city?
So you're directly next to Thanatos right now, so you'll be parked right on the outskirts. You wouldn't need to necessarily take the Theramachus if you wanted to, but... But you can always come back and get it later. It'll be in your ship. Okay.
Yeah, I might as well depart on foot for now, I think. Have we established a cover story? Do we want to... I mean, we're free to just go in and they say, hey, we're a bunch of mercs looking for Cerberus, but...
You don't think that would go over well?
It might actually be effective in fleshing them out.
Debo would also simply say, he'd be like, you can just say I'm looking for Cerberus and you guys are refueling.
Fair enough. Yeah, or we could go in guns blazing, who knows? Let's play it by ear, shall we?
So, as you step out, you notice a number of little automated systems nearby which are designed to look after, repair, and refuel any minor problems with any ships that land. Most of them seem to be turned off and worn. A lot of them are in little bays and cradles, actually recessed into the nearby buildings. There's one person slowly walking over to you very casually as if they're almost bored. And as they start glimpsing sight of your ship, having looked up from a little data slate that they've got out kind of popping out the top of their Omni tool, they do take another second, seeing how, like, heavily armed you and your ship are. Hey there. You're wanting birthing thieves, and do you need any refueling, or?
Yes, fill it up if you would.
Very well. I see it's all being paid for up front, so you're good to stay as long as you want.
Might you recommend a suitable eating establishment for myself and my companions' needs?
Well, you might have more trouble with the Quarian. We don't have many eateries that cater to that sort of, Turian and Quarian biology.
I have my own food.
Sure. Well, the third circle isn't far from here. It's a little inn and bar with some hotel attached, if you're interested.
Yes. Thank you, my good man.
Very well. Might I ask why you're bringing so much firepower out here? Pretty far out of the way for this sort of thing, unless you're planning on fighting Russiamores.
Oh, well, as you mentioned, we are a little out of the way off the established travel routes. We thought it best to use a conveyance that was capable of repelling assault.
Yeah, and we're carrying a totally not dangerous flesh-eating bacteria for your kind, so you might not want to go in and investigate that storage unit. That's yep, totally.
Please excuse my friend. He gets a little exuberant with his telling of tales.
Why won't you let me tease the locals? Gosh darn it.
Well, make a deception check, Poe.
Can I make a persuasion check to just sort of smooth things over if this is
I think things are smoothed over enough. It's mostly just to be like, oh, it's just pirates we're here for. It's not a high DC or anything.
Is that, sir, you needed a deception from me?
Yes.
Okay.
You're just saying that, like, oh, it's just local pirates and stuff we're worried about. 25. I was looking for far less. The guy's like, well, we have had some problems recently. Not many pirates being spotted, but people are suspecting there might be slaves around, Batarians, and looks up at your ship, which is originally Batarian design. Their sort of ilk. I'm not exactly sure what you are, gesturing over at Gek. Most Drell don't get very far. There aren't that many Drell in the universe, so. But, if you don't cause any trouble, you're welcome to stick around.
Is this fellow human, by the way?
Yep, nearly everyone in this sector is going to be human. It's in human space and largely human funded.
I'm actually going to try an insight roll to see, does he have a problem with aliens, or rather non-humans? I guess we're all aliens here because this isn't Earth, but it's a 21. Actually, I'm going to use luck to make that my 21.
Oh, okay. What does luck do? It allows you to reroll, right?
Yeah, so I'll take the.
In theory,
the
you should roll the second
roll
time
again?
because you shouldn't know what the second roll is. But
you bet.
13 would have been enough. So if you don't want to use luck this time, 13's enough. He's just a random dude.
Okay, then I will. Then I'll save my luck for combat. Okay, so he doesn't seem like
He's a little bit edgy around non-humans, but I wouldn't go out and out and say like he's a non-human racist. But like he's a bit edgy.
Yeah. I don't suspect that he has like a Cerberus uniform and a tiki torch in a closet somewhere.
Probably not. Like he
all right.
seems just vaguely like set in his ways. Like a little bit of just like he came out here to get away from whatever. He's on the edge of society in a little bit of a kind of a backwater.
Okay.
Gek is going to respond to him after he asks, well, it's funny you ask. I actually used to be one of you, but then I didn't eat enough of my vegetables.
You might want to keep that one on a bit of a short leash. If they wear leashes.
That's a bit rude. You said there was trouble, though. What kind of trouble?
Well, not trouble so much as getting less and less deliveries or something from some of the mining settlements. I don't know the details. Again, I just fix up the ships that land here.
Who would know details? That might be connected to our pirates.
Well, if that's what you're looking for, you can ask some of the people who hang out at the third circle. Like I said, there's a few of the mining supervisors. If you want, you can ask around. There's a fellow by the name of Larry Ken. I believe he's the coordinator for the Meadows, which is gestures towards the west where you came in over. It's a large flat expanse where most of the mining colonies are. He's in charge of coordinating the shipping routes back and from there. As I said, trouble with thresher moors.
You see Leslie just typing on our Omni tool.
Thank you very much for your help. What was your name, my friend?
My name, is Daniels.
Thank you, Daniels. I am Poe.
Well, nice to meet you, Poe. We do get a few voters around here, so merchants are always welcome, and even if they come heavily armed as yourself.
Good. Yes. Come, my companions, let us make our way to the third circle, was it? Yes, the third circle.
Okay.
Diva kind of sulks a little bit because he hasn't been able to get under this guy's skin, and he's like, dang it. And he's walking with you.
I'll let the others know just the results of essentially my insight roll. That is I worried that perhaps he had Cerberus sympathies, but didn't really get that impression. Hard to say. It wasn't an interrogation after all.
We can make arrangements to do that later if you would like, Bo.
Perhaps not necessary in this case.
Perhaps he'll tell us where all the pomegranates are.
This is going to be a running thing, I see.
Until I get tired of it.
I brought
So
my own
it's going to be a
food.
running thing.
I brought my own food. I made sure to grab some before we left.
Yes. From what they said, there probably will not be any eateries that cater to your needs.
Yeah, and then I can avoid the pomegranates too.
Yes.
I wrote down Larry Ken and some of his information.
Larry, yes.
Can I try and sleight of hand this fellow and take something off of him, like his wallet?
I mean, no one uses physical money. They use bank accounts with credits in them. So
Sure, a credit stick.
it's in a central account, and he sends it from the Omni tool. So you would be able to maybe get a credit stick if he had one on him. Sure, make me a sleight of hand check. You'll take whatever's in his pocket.
22.
Deathly, without anyone even seeing, you manage to take something from his pocket, and as you pull out your hand, you seem to have got like an extra large pack of nicotine gum.
I don't know what this is good for, but I bet you it's poisonous to you, and he's gonna throw it at Leslie.
I feel like I'm trying to like keep my anxiety down, so I'm just like in the zone of trying to not stress out anybody else. So I just keep walking.
It bounces off the side of your helmet and lands on the ground, and you just keep walking.
Excuse me. What's that?
I think it's a pomegranate.
As you look at it, it does say pomegranate flavor.
Well, here.
I start feeling my helmet to make sure there's not a crack in it.
You seem okay.
I'm not interested in that. Thank you.
I like tentatively bend down to pick it up and like slowly reach for it and then pick it up off the ground and start handing it back to Gek. Holding it between two of my fingers, like dangling it.
We shouldn't litter here.
You're right. I could probably sell it in the underworld at some point later. Somebody might be addicted to this stuff.
Somebody would. It won't be me, though.
Yeah.
feel free to add pomegranate flavor nicotine gum to your inventory, Gek.
It could be useful.
It's like what's the word? The sword that you see above the mantelpiece in Act 2 and gets used by the end of Act 3.
Yeah, actually, Poe, when if his attention is drawn to this, he finds it's like almost like an omen that the gum is pomegranate flavored. It's like,
most portentous, yes.
Okay. So as you make your way through the town, it does appear to be a town where there's not a lot of just commercial activity or anything. Most people here are occupied in one way or another with the running of the facilities in the colony or the actual like logistics and mining operation. So most people walking around, there wouldn't be any tourists, there wouldn't be any people just randomly shopping at any like retail stores. You would see a few like little stores here and there that do cater to the populace, but most of this is like that kind of industrial level economy. You make your way to one of the larger buildings, which is the third circle. The actual symbol is 3 circles stacked on top of each other, kind of interlinked. And it's a kind of a very large, almost garish neon sign compared to most of everything around you, which is prefab housing. Inside, you can hear music blaring, which is kind of incongruous for the time of day. And it does advertise that it is 2 for 1 on drinks at the moment.
Good deal. I'm getting a drink.
You did say you'd have to after dealing with me on the ship for that long.
Poe actually sort of stands around for a while, like expecting to be seated, like it's a fancy restaurant, just waiting for the host to show up. It's like,
oh, do we seat ourselves?
As you look around, it doesn't seem like anyone is here to seat you. But there's like a number of like little circular tables, all of which are kept in relatively decent condition. It's not like super seedy or anything. There's a very long bar that extends down the entire length, and you can see that there is a Solarian behind the bar, like obviously doing the very typical barman thing of just like constantly cleaning a glass with a cloth, which is kind of anachronistic given the age.
Gek immediately like slides to the side and looks around the entire room looking for any police officers.
Okay, make me an insight check.
$20.
You don't see any obvious police officers inside the bar, but as you're leaving the street, you do see like at the far end, another individual in armor. It's an Elcor, and they have on their back, as they're lumbering along, what appears to be like a mini machine gun. Like this is kind of a light machine gun tripoded onto their back, and their colors do like seem to indicate some stripes, which would probably indicate some sort of private security service. Probably whatever policing outfit runs this settlement.
Ooh, this establishment has a walking tank, Poe.
Interesting. Well, let us take a seat at the bar then, shall we?
Poe just sort of waddles along, leads the way up to the bar, and he probably has to like pull himself up into a seat and get there. Like, and just says to the Solarian, greetings, my good fellow.
Oh, hello there. Are you from off-planet? It is nice to see some strangers around here. We don't often get many non-humans. Can I help you or anything? Do you want a drink? Do you want something local? Do you want something from imported? Imported is more expensive, but we do have many different local beverages, all of them based on whatever we can grow here, which isn't much. It's a very limited selection of fruits and vegetables. But if you do want something local, it's cheaper.
I would like a soothing tea, if you do not mind.
Okay. Would you like some sort of artificial, locally grown tea or something from off-world? It's more expensive, but it might be worth your while.
Off-world, I think.
Oh, very well. Let me just put the kettle on, and there we go.
Now, Volus are capable, I assume, much like the Quarians, they have some means of,
Yeah, there'll be an emergency induction port, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So he'll be drinking through that, and he'll also order. He's known all of these folks for quite a while. So what's everybody's favorite drink? That's what Poe attempts to order. We might have a trouble with the Quarian drinks, but we'll see.
For Gek, you would know not to order for him. He wants to see the list of teas and get like the most like particular like thing.
What about for Aelin?
Any whiskey.
Yes, whiskey, please.
Okay, would you like a local Zagrean whiskey or something from like a human whiskey? We do have human whiskey. The humans want whiskey quite often.
Aelin, Poe turns to Aelin and is like, would you care to
Local's fine. Local's fine.
Very well.
Okay, local Pom whiskey it is then. Let me just get that for you.
Have you anything that my friend might be able to ingest?
Oh, yes, I do have a few things. I get them in particularly in case we get any Tyrians or Aquarians. Don't get many around here, but I do have something.
He goes under the bar and pulls out what appears to be a slightly dusty green bottle that looks like it has been there quite a while. The label's actually kind of faded.
It's green.
Oh, yes, it is.
What is it?
Oh, it is apparently something called Absinthe. It contains no amino acids, so it's actually drinkable. It's been filtered specially.
I look over at Poe as if seeing if it's a good idea.
I am unfamiliar with this beverage, I fear.
I hear it really knocks you on your booty.
Oh. Does it have pomegranate in it?
As far as I'm aware, no.
I'll try it.
Okay, I'm not sure what sort of glass to serve this in. Would you like it in like a tumbler or like a wine glass or a pint glass?
I see the wine glass and think it looks super fancy.
Can I have the wine glass?
Oh, sure. There you go.
He like opens the top and you can kind of hear the like metal kind of go, pulls it off, glug, 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 pours out a wine glass of absinthe for you.
I excitedly reach for it, and it's almost like at the age that I am, I should not be that excited about something like this, but I'm very much like a little kid, like, ooh, what's this? This is exciting. And I pull it towards me, and I don't take a sip yet. I just wait for everybody else to get their drinks.
Can I see your tea list, sir? He's kind of like laughing under his breath as
here you go.
you pour all that absinthe.
We have tea and something called Yorkshire tea and Earl Grey.
So you have 3 teas. That's it?
Well, they have to get imported all the way from Earth, these. We
I'll
do
take the
have
Yorkshire
local
tea.
If you would like local teas.
No. I'll take the Yorkshire tea.
Okay, Yorkshire tea it is. I'll add that and whiskey and tea and okay, I will ring that up for you.
I'm not going to bother to make you pay for bar drinks because at your level, you have enough disposable cash that there is no point paying for individual things like that. It just becomes money for the sake of numbers.
Deba will actually, just as a side thing, will slide like extra to him and pass a note asking if he's been racially profiled in any means.
Oh, of course.
Excuse me. It's a note. You're supposed to.
Oh. Okay. Yes, of course.
Could you point us?
What my friend was attempting to surreptitiously ask, have you noticed any organization behind the more xenophobic humans here?
No, actually not really. They're mostly just bigots.
Yes, never easy to deal with. You have my sympathies.
No, but they pay well, mostly because I can order and serve people much faster than any of the other people, around. So, you know.
Could you point me to the biggest bigot that you've encountered? Perhaps a name written on the note, please.
Okay, I'll do this super subtly for you. It's, At one.
Points to just this really large guy sitting in the corner. He's got like tattoos all over him, which seem to be like humans first, terror forever, stuff like that.
This seems a likely candidate.
Before you know it, Diva's already walking over there.
Yeah, sort of. Poe turns to say that to Diva.
This seems like a likely candidate. Where did? Oh, here.
I don't know why he wanted me to subtly point him out if he's just gonna walk over there. This seems like kind of a self-defeating. Please don't break the windows. We had to replace them twice already.
You walk over. What do you want, Frogface? Piss off.
Frogface, that's a new one. I haven't heard that one like 10 million times.
You're green and you're scaly and you got gills. Frogs have gills, don't they?
Wow, you're really unintelligent for... It almost seems sad that I would beat you up in the middle of all this bar for how unintelligent you are.
You what? Sorry, what?
Oh, sorry, yeah, you know.
You hear the sort of like scooch sound as like Poe's seat gets pushed back from the bar. You know that sound that when a bar fight starts where like seats sort of get pushed back? That's what you hear from the bar.
He just gets up and he towers over you. Like he's a good like 6'8" maybe. You what, mate? You want to say it to my face?
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. In order to get to your robust, unintelligent level, let me just say this. You, big dum-dum, get thrown into the floor unconscious. Yes.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You just see the Solarian hide behind the bar. Do you want to just click your token and roll me initiative?
Okay. Are we all in initiative?
Does anyone else want to join in this bar fight? If you do, click your token and just roll your initiative.
Or maybe to break it up. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, yeah, you can roll into the initiative and you don't have to act if you don't want to. Okay. Sure.
I'm chilling.
Got your whiskey.
You pulled me in when you said he was big, and I'm like, ooh.
Okay. I shouldn't use that one. I should use... Big Dum.
Big Dum.
Okay. Let's see. You see this guy like put his foot back, square his hips, and he sort of pulls that arm back. Like combat's definitely about to start as he like stands up, knocking his charo backwards. Let's see what you want to do.
I grab my wine glass. I stand up. You see this like weird calm come over her, and it's like laser focus. And I quickly hurry over and put myself between Gek and the big dum-dum.
You'll have to excuse him. He's had a little too much to drink. My friend will come back with me.
Okay, make a persuasion check at disadvantage. 21. His hand kind of like goes down a little bit and he's like, I want it to go. Fine, Frogface. If I see you again. It's
yes,
not
this is where I'm staying. And he starts writing down like a bunch of random stuff because he knows nothing. He's like, here, you can find me here later.
I turn around to him and see him doing this.
What are you doing? He is so much larger than you. I know you're fast, but he's big.
Here, you can just ping me on my Omni tool. He shares this like like an encoded messenger that he could just message him later.
Make me a deception roll.
Okay. 16.
Right. Oh, yeah, you like, yeah, you like it like, yeah, okay. Well, if you want to meet up later, sure. We can, yeah.
Peculiar. He turns around and walks away.
Hey, we drop out of combat time. I will turn my combat music off. I'll play the love theme music. Side note, thank you very much to EA for allowing us to use the music from Mass Effect.
So Poe was just getting ready to summon his biotic orbs, and he sort of lowers his hand.
Yes, well done in avoiding the consequences of Gek's actions.
It would have been fine. Oh, wait, actually, it might not have. I didn't actually pay attention to what he was doing beforehand. I should have taken a little bit of time to look at him.
We shouldn't pick a fight with the first bigoted person we find.
You have to understand that Lassie, this is the strategy. Now they're gonna try and find me and hunt me down if they're part of, well, you know.
What good would that do if you were dead?
Me dead? Ha.
Yeah, he wouldn't die.
I would not think that some random bully in a bar is capable of taking down one of Gek's formidable nature. Still, it may have been an idea with merit.
You never quite know what people's experiences are and what they're capable of.
Well, I could definitely tell you more of my stories of conquest and death.
Maybe you should.
Well, there's one time I made this Solarian choke on a pomegranate. It was pretty great.
Do you have, like, pomegranates on hand at all times for battle?
Oh yeah, that's what I call this. And he just pulls out a random, like, carton of nonsense.
I like cower back a little bit.
Well, maybe I can learn from your war stories.
Don't do that. They're all lies.
Okay.
Eileen, they're not all lies. They're just embellished a little bit.
Maybe you could tell me a true story sometime.
That'd be novel. I'd love to see that.
Wow, Eileen. Getting me back for how I've been treating Leslie, I see.
Well, I saw the way that the big one looked at you when you left. I think you have something wonderful coming to you later.
Oh, he's gonna come and fight me? That's great.
Sure.
Question, what coordinates did you provide this random bigot with?
I don't know. Some random thing.
Oh, so he will not be waiting for us back at the ship?
Oh, that would have been smart.
If he touches my ship, you would die.
Are you still in communication with him?
I gave him my OmniTool messaging system.
Are you capable of tracking him?
If he messages me, I'm sure we could figure something out.
I mean, if you look at your OmniTool right now, you have a message.
Hey, he messaged me.
It appears to be a somewhat lurid picture of a part of his anatomy.
What does it say?
It doesn't exactly say anything. Is this something that's is this normal for humans? Is that he shares it with the bartender?
Oh my, he's been doing that again. This is awkward. He keeps hitting on me. I already have a collection of like 12 of these, but he pays well, so I really should throw him out sometime. But I don't want to,
Like,
he's scary.
I suspect this may be something of a dead end.
I'm going to type into my Omni tool and kind of like block the messages.
Yep, it's a good move.
Unsolicited advances are kind of terrible things.
While he's looking at that, can I scan the room and see if anybody's staring at us?
I won't make you check. There's definitely a few people staring at you. Like, Drells are relatively uncommon. Quarians, relatively uncommon. Volus, little uncommon, but more so seen on the outskirts due to being traders. So you're definitely drawing eyes, especially when you tried to start a fight and then broke the fight up within about 10 seconds. So there's probably just a few people scattered around the bar who are like eyeing you.
I'll lower my voice a little bit.
A lot of people are watching us, but I don't know if it's because of the fight that Gek tried to start.
That might be a safe assumption. In the meantime, do we continue to attempt fleshing out our quarry, or do we return to the ship and investigate the anomaly we noticed earlier?
I like anomalies.
Oh, one more thing. And I'll lean over to the Solarian.
Can you tell me anything about Larry Kin?
Sure. He tips well. He's in charge of the distribution and provision for any of the mining facilities in the meadows. He's over there right now. Okay. Sure. Is that a problem or?
No, that is perfect. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay.
And the tea was delicious.
No problem.
My tea. Yes.
Okay.
Good. Let's see, do you have the absinthe from a wine glass through a straw?
If that's the option, then yes.
Yes, it is. Your emergency induction straw. Roll me a con save.
Yay!
4! Let's see.
Yes?
You are very drunk. Very quickly.
No.
You guys should taste this. Oh, I've never had anything like this. Should we go talk to him? We should go talk to him, shouldn't we? I should go talk to him. I
start to stand up. Before I take one
You
more drink.
stand up
and
at
then
like a 30-degree angle.
Yeah, and then I start heading over to Larry Kin.
Okay. While Leslie in her head is walking a straight line, you definitely see her walking a curve towards Larry. At one point, she like brushes against the wall.
Poe will just sort of like waddle in and sort of take her hand and lead her on a straighter path towards Larry.
Okay.
Gek is going to lean back and watch as
Hi,
he's
Poe.
drinking his tea.
I grab Poe's hand and just start walking with Poe.
Eileen will lead back up behind them just in case. She falls over and takes Bo with her.
And Poe
I
is
stay at the
tried
bar
it?
and watch.
Do you
Closer
want
to
to
the
try it,
hand.
Aylin?
It's all yours.
Okay.
Larry's currently talking quietly to a woman who both of them seem to be having like some sort of business drinks. You can tell that like they're not really touching their drinks very much. They're talking in not like a very social manner. It's more kind of a formal body language. Both of them are wearing what appears to be kind of like mid-level suits. He has like this kind of salt and pepper goatee and hair that isn't salt and pepper and probably dyed, with kind of like wrinkles at the corners of his eyes. He's probably mid-40s. As you come over, he kind of glances at her and just kind of waves his hand, and she nods and departs.
Greetings.
It's interesting to see some new people here. Don't get Volus, and especially not Quarin and Rel. Few Asari around, but most people here I know.
We find ourselves in the area on business.
What business would that be?
The business of rooting out certain vermin. You might call us exterminators.
Right. I didn't know we'd already started dealing with the Thresher Maw problem already. But if you're that kind of...
Not the Thresher Maws. A more insidious sort of pest.
And that would be?
Of the canine variety. 3-headed.
I'm swaying back and forth.
Okay.
He's
His
trying to
eyes
keep
are
you
like
steady.
now on Leslie, just going back and forth like a metronome. Cerberus?
I see I have not been too opaque in my references.
Three-headed dog's a bit of a giveaway.
Indeed.
I mean, we all know what they did for humanity by destroying the collectors, and...
Tell me, friend, do you find your sympathies lie in this direction?
You see him, like, lean back and definitely start putting his arms across his body, being a bit more guarded.
I'll try an insight check on him.
Sure.
It is why I was so obvious. Let's see if that managed to get him to spill any beans.
17. From what you can tell, it's hard to read him, but probably doesn't know anything more than the basics, but he's being very iffy about it because there is some sympathy there.
Mm-hmm.
And he said Cerberus. Eileen would have looked around to see if anybody else kind of started eavesdropping or paying more attention to us.
Make an insight check. Make it disadvantage because you're trying to survey a lot of people.
Since I'm sitting at the bar, that's kind of what I was hoping to do as well. Is
Yeah, if
just
you want to make the
constantly
same insight with disadvantage.
read the room.
19.
Okay.
Mine's also a 19.
Wow.
As you look around, there's a number of people who pay a little bit of attention. A couple of ears prick up. The woman who walked away glances over her shoulder and takes a bit more notice. But no one is suddenly, like, alert. Everyone's just, who actually hears that, is kind of, like, mildly interested. Because you already have people's attention. And then the mention of Cerberus, which is kind of like this pop culture mythical organization right now, because they are known to have been involved with the ending of the Collectors. It certainly pricks ears, but no one seems to be overly startled.
Okay.
My allegiance is to myself. What I know about Cerberus is that they did people a favor by sorting a problem that the Systems Alliance and the Council couldn't be asked to deal with.
So you admire them?
I admire them for doing what need doing.
Yes. Interesting.
I lean forward. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Because
I would lean
he starts
forward.
to say something, and then you lean forward.
I start talking over Poe, and I think I'm being quiet.
Do you know if there's any of them around here?
As far as I'm aware, we're in a bit of a backwater.
You know, like it's just like you probably hear stuff. Like, is there like somebody who's like, oh, there's a meeting tonight? Do you know anybody?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, 17. Well, not Cerberus. I don't know why they'd be out here. We have a small group of like-minded people who meet up occasionally. Terra Firma, but not exactly Cerberus. They're a legitimate political body with political goals and motives. Any of you would know about Terra Firma. if you have decent intelligence or wisdom. They are a political party in human space that were founded after the Jurian-Human War, who basically are like super anti-alien. They're very much about like cutting off discussion with all aliens, militaristic build-up. Yeah, they're xenophobes.
Is there a chair that Is there a chair I can slide into?
Yeah, that's the woman's chair that she left.
Okay, I'm just gonna sit down.
Okay.
I'm still swaying, but I look at Poe.
Poe is kind of like looking at you with. It's hard to say because he's wearing his gas mask, but if it had cartoon eyebrows on it, they would be up here.
You see one of her glowing eyes wink at you.
Okay, so you know some people then.
I know a lot of people. I'm in charge of a lot of people. I've got a lot of stuff on my plate right now with missed delivery shipments that I have to deal with.
Well, could you tell me who I could talk to about this, who runs these meetings?
I'm not sure they'll be receptive to Aquarian, Volas, and an Asari coming to talk to them.
Why? Like, why? I don't understand why.
Because they don't like non-humans.
Well, I know. I was trying to make him say it, though, because then he has to say it, you know? That's really
because
awful.
they have human interests at heart, and these human interests are best discussed between humans.
That's why I interrupted. I didn't want to hear the BS.
Poe will sort of go, yes, of course, but we do not believe the slanders about terra firma actually being bigots. They merely wish to place the concerns of humans first. Is that not true?
I'll try a persuasion roll.
Sure. $21.
That is a 21.
Okay.
You know what? I will use my luck. Or no, wait, I can't use my luck in that way to make it a crit.
Yeah, you have to
right.
re-roll again because you wouldn't be able to see what the roll is until you re-roll it. 21. You look at him and kind of give this. He kind of looks around the room, knowing that everyone else is kind of watching and some people are listening in. You know what? Considering the impression you've left on me, I'm sure that you will have a pretty desired effect by showing up to a meeting of terra firma. Some of our members might have their beliefs definitely swayed in a certain direction by meeting you. So, if you want to come along to one of our meetings, sure.
When is the next appointed meeting?
Well, about 2 days' time, just after sundown in the hall. You're welcome. And he brings up his Omni tool and sends across the time on the calendar and the location. But I'm afraid I have to get back to work if you've not got any more things you want to bother me about.
Yeah, actually, I do. You have missing shipments? Want to tell us about those?
We're just missing a few deliveries back from some of our colonies out in the meadows. Nothing to be worried about, nothing to bother the investors about, nothing to worry people like you about.
You mean people that would be able to help investigate? Sure.
Make a persuasion check.
Ugh, 15.
Okay, and how would you want to help? Are you expert miners, or...?
We're very good at recovery.
Well, if you want to go and have a look around, as far as I'm aware, they sent all the deliveries over, but they just aren't getting to us. Data logs are just saying that they're sending deliveries, and we might have a few phone lines out between us, so we're not being able to directly connect to them, but all the other data seems to be coming in fine. Their delivery schedule says that they're sending the stuff out, we're just not receiving it. So, if you want to go find out where it's missing along the route, feel free. And let me just pull up my notes. We're having issues so far with deliveries from Penthos, Cure, Nose.
How are you not worried about that? The supplies for your people.
Well, they're mineral deliveries and shipments of geological survey data and samples, so they're not necessary, but they are required for us to keep operating. I'm concerned, but everything's a little bit tight down here, and if I tell anyone, then someone hears about it, and then upstairs gets worried, and they might pull the funding for the colony, and a lot of people's lives depend on that funding.
Who runs upstairs?
Got a consortium of like-minded corporate interests who are... He's definitely getting a bit edgy now. Like, your passive insight, you can tell. He's caging up.
Have you tried the absinthe yet? It's this dusty bottle underneath the bar, but you should ask for it's really good. I don't know. I think we could be friends, Larry.
Do you want to be friends with Larry? Do you want Larry to think you want to be friends with Larry?
Yes.
I'm trying to get Larry on my side.
Okay. You're okay. Are you doing the I'm a drunk girl, take advantage of me, Larry, then punch Larry in the face?
No. I'm trying to be friendly with Larry and have him bring his guard down a little bit.
Persuasion roll at disadvantage. You kind of positioned yourself as like, we don't like you, Larry, so far as a group.
Oh.
I think I've spent enough time with you. I've got a lot of work on my plate, and unfortunately, I've got a lot of human interests that will be needing some help around here, and I'm sure you aliens can manage your own way around, as you have so long without us. So, thank you very much, and, well, I'll see you in a few days' time. Gets up. Nods towards the bar, brings his zombie tool, pays his tab, and starts to walk out.
Do you think we could have Gek beat him up? He was mean.
What a ghastly person.
Before he walks out, I want to walk over and brush against him and slide a hand.
Okay, bear in mind the entire bar is watching you. Go for it.
Where? $21. Yep.
You get oh god, what are people carrying in their pockets now? Everything is digital.
More gum.
Lint?
Chekhov's gum.
Chekhov's gum. Oh god. Yeah, you get some gum.
A pack of Chekhov.
Chekhov's gum. Chekhov's finest gum, and you'd probably also get a little like a Polaroid, like a physical picture, which would be like a woman, probably maybe like similar age to him, blonde hair that's slowly turning like slightly gray and translucent at the ends, little smile lines around her face that are kind of wearing in, holding a little baby.
Cool.
Okay. So, just sort of gathering the others together and just saying,
So what do we feel, my companions?
Everything feels dizzy.
Perhaps we should return to the ship and let Lessie lie down for a bit.
I didn't know it was gonna make me feel like that, like this.
Yeah, you should totally have some more. I hear the more you drink, the less you feel bad.
Is that true?
That is never true of anything.
Okay.
Aelin, by the way, Larry has a wife and a kid, it seems. You can't see the picture.
Great, now you're stealing family photos from people. I'm so proud.
Listen, sometimes people like to keep stuff off the grid, so maybe he would have had a list of all the stuff and shipments, and who knows,
The woman in the photo doesn't look anything like the woman he was talking with, though, right?
No.
Cool. I will help
Care for
Leslie
some
get to
gum?
the ship.
I link my arm with Aylin's and just lean on her shoulder as we start heading back.
You should be grateful, Gek, that the picture you took from Larry was not another image of his genitals.
You could start collecting those.
You could make a gallery wall.
Oh, are you saying I could possibly elicit money from them via blackmail by having these images and potentially sharing them with their significant others or other people?
Yes.
In any case, let us return to the ship to plan our next move, yes?
You want some
Well,
gum, Poe?
I will take some for later, yes. I will take some Chekhov's gum for Act 2.
Great. You go back to the ship. As you get back, you notice Daniel's kind of just around the bottom, plugging in a few hoses to be able to transfer some more helium to it. Are you back already? That wasn't particularly long. Are you planning on leaving, or?
I got you some more gum. And he'd hand him his gum and the other gum.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering. Thank you. Well, I'm still fueling her up. If you're planning on leaving, it'll take a couple more.
We're just gonna rest. I'm using a biotic field to help Leslie, by the way. Keep her stable.
Our companion discovered Absinthe while we were at the third circle.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That is a great place.
Well,
I mean, besides how awful all the people are there.
well,
like,
you can't
the
hold it
drinks
against
are
the barman for being a Solarian. Not his fault.
What?
Oh, no, he was fine. He was great. We liked him.
He was
Right.
nice.
Daniels. That's your name, right?
Yeah.
Do you know where one would go about getting tattoos on this place?
Sure. I think my cousin does tattooing if you're interested. I'm not sure it would work with your hide.
No, I'm not looking to get tattoos. I'm more or less looking for a particular design of a tattoo that says particular words.
Well, I can talk to my wife if you want. Oh, sorry, my cousin is my wife.
Yes. We assumed so, yes.
Anyway, probably a place where, people get tattoos that are like, I hate aliens, that sort of thing.
Make a persuasion check.
Four.
If someone wanted to express such legitimate personal views, I'm sure anywhere can do that.
Poe is just going to sort of mention to Aelin, just like,
I grow to like this place less and less.
Yeah, I think I'd rather hang out with the Geth.
Meanwhile, on the exact other side of the planet, some Geth are in a bar going, I wish I could hold out with some humans right now. These Geth are terrible. They're believing, like, the sovereign dude and,
Okay. Well, are we going to return to the ship for Leslie to basically get sober? Is that our plan?
Yep.
Okay.
And she had, like, a full wine glass of absinthe, so, time passes.
Can I use the computer? I was gonna say, can I use the computer system just looking up tattoo parlors and seeing like images or stuff like that, like social media?
Yeah. Easy enough.
And I'd look at
So we'll want to be using a long rest then, yes? Okay, all right.
Well, I want to look into the settlements that were mentioned for the missing deliveries and stuff too. Anything we can find.
Okay, in which case we'll do the tattoo thing first. If Deba and Edgar, you want to do that, that'll be investigation rolls, just to go through
Sure
the local data net.
Yeah, we'll use our time somewhat constructively.
Deba,
Patty 1-5.
you find yourself being bombarded with messages that kind of block up your Omni tool about like, why won't you message me back?
More dick pics.
Yeah. Edgar, there are two places that seem to have that sort of like, you know, that there are those definitely like places where like they don't have like Nazi symbols on the wall in the back, but you're like, if you were allowed to, you'd be that kind of place. And you definitely get a couple of those places with like terra firma like signs, or like humans get like priority whatever, you know, really dodge, not nice tattoo parlors. There's a couple in town.
Okay.
One of them is owned by Miss Daniels, funnily enough, and the other one is actually uses the hall every week, and they do like a group thing where they just rent out the hall space every week, and they go right before the Terra First meeting.
Oh, sorry, what was right before the Terra First meeting?
There's a 4-hour slot where the local tattoo parlor rent out the hall where the Terra First meeting takes place, and then every week before the Terra First meeting, they have a tattoo session where people can come along and get tattoos, and there's discounts and so on available for certain political parties' membership.
Okay, and what is scheduled before that? If we wanted to go in and like set up an ambush, for example. Or
it would be like a group therapy painting session.
I'll sign us up for the group therapy painting session.
Okay.
Gek could use that.
Sure. And Aylin, if you wanted to look into these colonies, how are you doing this? Are you just looking up information on the colonies, or like any social media about people, or what?
Probably more on the people angle. Aylin's not super great with
Make an investigation roll. Or you can make a 3. Yeah, it's probably investigation. Yeah, as far as you can be aware, although the colonies apparently aren't sending the materials, or the materials aren't at least getting here, they seem to still be active. Like, there are people posting social media there. There is apparently like events still happening or whatever. Like, there is movement on the internet in the social sphere in these colonies. So they still seem to be perfectly normal. However, whatever is happening, the shipments aren't getting here.
Is Leslie sleeping?
It's a fine line between unconscious and sleeping.
Okay.
Oh no.
How many pomegranate-looking objects can I arrange around Leslie?
Do you want to like pop out and just go to a market and buy like as many pomegranate-looking things?
Yes.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check to try and like figure out how many pomegranate-shaped items you can get within easy buying reach of your ship.
18.
Okay, roll me a d20.
Five.
Okay, so there's like a baseball that you can kind of paint like this kind of pink purple color. There's a human football, which you can paint. Soccer ball, which you can paint purple pink as well, and you can have that next to her. There's like a golf ball. It's a bit small. You can use that. There's what is actually called a pomegranate, which they get from Persephone, which is the mining world further in system, which is a molten world. And these are basically like geodes with a element 0 center in the core, which causes heavy metals to kind of leach out and surround it. That is colloquially termed a pomegranate. And that has that kind of coloration tint to the metal. You get one of them, and there's a couple of other objects as well. And you can all place them around, in addition to any you have in the ship around her.
Cool. I'm going to tape one wherever she's facing. So when she opens her eyes, it's the first thing she sees.
I'm gonna paint it with Gek's face on it when Gek is done.
Okay.
Oh.
In the morning, Leslie, you come to, you have a splitting headache, and as you groggily open your eyes, which are kind of like filled with sleep, and you look up, and there is the face of Diba Gek looking back at you.
You hear
A scream from my bunk, and then a bunch of clattering and metal objects hitting the floor.
my head.
You realize
what?
it's not Diba Gek, but then you realize you're surrounded by pomegranates.
You just hear screaming and frantic, like I fall out of my bunk. I'm scrambling to stand up. My head is killing me.
Wait, what? Are you all okay? There's pomegranates everywhere.
Make me a dex saving throw.
Impersonating you, Gek. There's one that looks like you.
Make a dex saving throw.
Okay.
Are they sentient? I think they're becoming sentient.
You narrowly avoid slipping on the golf ball size pomegranate, which you end up kicking and scatters into the hallway in front of Aileen.
Okay.
Gek is on the ceiling above, just laughing hysterically.
That's even more scary. Gek's in your room while you're sleeping on the ceiling.
No, he's not. He's not in the room. He's outside in the hallway on the ceiling.
I'm gonna grab the one that's taped that has his face on it. I'm rubbing I'm not rubbing my temple. I'm holding my helmet because I have a splitting headache, and I study the face on the pomegranate.
How is this possible?
If you throw it at Gek, it'll make them all go away. Throw it really hard.
I subconsciously know that she's joking, but I do it anyway, and I throw it at Gek.
When you walk out of your room, he's taking pictures.
Wait, hold the flash.
Leslie,
else?
make a attack roll. It's a thrown weapon, so make a strength plus proficiency bonus attack roll.
I'm gonna try to use biotic field to help.
Okay, you can have like advantage on it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just roll. Okay, 15 plus your proficiency bonus because you don't have that on there, right?
No, I don't.
So that'd be a 19. That hits Diba Gek. Diba, as you're taking pictures, this soccer ball painted like your face smacks you in the head.
He probably falls from the ceiling and is continuing to laugh.
The resemblance is uncanny, isn't it?
Poe sort of waddles in to the middle of this and is like,
Oh, I see. Collegiate hijinks, no doubt. My
What
companions, I must inform you all, we are scheduled to participate in a painting therapy session.
What time would that be?
what time is that scheduled for?
That'll be tomorrow. The painting is right. So the meeting of the races is at 8. This is how I schedule my time in RPGs. The meeting of the races is at 8. The meeting of the tattoo races is at 4. So the painting will be at 2 p.m. Tomorrow.
You find a new Reddit post about pranking Quarians.
Gek, might you employ your skills perhaps more constructively? I was thinking that perhaps we may case the joint, as it were, during the painting session. Perhaps if you wished to observe any further meetings from a place of obscurement, I leave this to you. It is your field.
I could do that. I mean, I've been doing stuff on my own. Pranking Leslie here has actually possibly produced people that have like-minded things and want to mess with alien, people. That's totally what I was doing. It was not for my own enjoyment.
Yes, of course, of course. You are a consummate professional, as always.
Yes, sir.
Do we have access to any equipment that might be left, a camera or listening device that we might plant?
I
have a drone, right? I can use that.
Yeah. You can summon a drone with your ability, right?
Yeah.
And recon drone is one of the options.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I can make a drone.
But we would wish this drone to be unobserved. What options do we have for that?
I can make an assault, a combat, a defense, disruption, reconnaissance, and a rocket drone.
Reconnaissance is best. Would your drone be able to occupy the space unobserved? Does it have any stealth capabilities?
I'm
looking through my Omni tool at the specs on each of the drones.
It has tactical cloak 3 times per day. For 1 minute, it may go invisible, and it also has a +5 to stealth.
Yeah, I can make it real sneaky. I can make it invisible too.
Yes. When we are participating in the painting session, perhaps you might find a place to secrete that, yes?
Yeah, we could go in and maybe I can hide it somewhere in the ceiling.
Good.
But the ceiling's my space, Leslie. Leslie.
Can you? I
Then
can't
you can
just have
hide
it. This will be more inconspicuous. Like you're not going to be on the ceiling the whole time, are you?
He shrugs.
Okay, I'm open to suggestions. Is there another spot we could put it?
I kind of want there to be a meme which is like ceiling Gek is watching you.
I always feel like Gek is watching me. Anyway.
Well, if Gek's gonna be on the ceiling for this meeting, but you can't
No.
turn invisible.
He like tilts his head like, Leslie.
Well, you know where I am.
I look at Aelin and Poe.
Do you want me to put the drone in the rafters or whatever they have there, just as backup for Gek?
Sure, as backup for the very professional.
Just as backup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes,
Yep.
please.
Don't worry, the video on WorldTube is doing quite well.
What video?
Oh, nothing.
I'm gonna run over to his Omni tool and start looking at whatever he's doing.
Yeah, you look at the local YouTube equivalent or whatever it is. There's pictures of you being surrounded with pomegranates, your like visor being drawn on and like a smiley face. Yeah.
Were you still recording when she hit you with yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. There's also a video of you last night trying to sing. What do you sing when drunk? We will warp 10,000 light years, and we will warp 10,000 more.
That sounds good. That sounds like something I heard in my travels, and
Yep.
drunk Leslie's gonna sing that at the
You
top of her
also
lungs.
You also see that the funds are going to your account from the views and ads.
Yeah,
I
this
just
is
look
the
at him
YouTube account set up called Drunk Lessie or Drunk Quarian or something.
Yeah.
Emergency Induction Quarian.
I'm like speechless while I'm looking at it. Like the funds are coming to me, but just like in shock that so much effort has gone into making an account of my drunk adventures.
I mean, I guess it's interesting. It's a way to preserve a memory, right?
I figured that was totally my idea, because I figured you might forget what all you did.
Yeah, this is good. This is good in case. Maybe there's clues. Maybe there's clues in this. Will you send me the account so that I can look it over later?
Sure.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
Very, very astute. I think that these hijinks will certainly cause anyone encountering us to underestimate us, thinking us nothing more than a troop of buffoons. Very canny, very canny.
It's a good way to infiltrate. We seem so unassuming.
Eva, roll me a D100 for like the percent of people in the colony who've seen this video so far.
Who?
Eva.
Oh. Let me do that.
And you made such an impression the other day. 98% of people in the colony here have seen this video. 98% of people in this colony of several thousand people have seen your video. Good news is, that means that you're getting a YouTube payout of all of 20 credits.
I do have a question. Is it okay that people know who I kind of am from this?
Well, it technically doesn't say your name, but I mean, the
I'm
location
a mercenary. You know
Yeah,
my
people
background?
know who I am.
What if the people who raised me find it?
That's
You
the
can
idea.
just- No, well, that's true. Then we can take care of them.
At this moment's when I start to understand Gek's ideology of how to lure enemies in. And I kind of go, oh.
Okay, maybe that's not such a bad idea. Is this gonna harm my reputation?
Nah, you can delete the video later.
Okay. I didn't know I was going to get drunk.
That always works. Yes. Once you delete it, it's gone. That's the way it works, I believe.
Okay, so then it's like a clean slate after that. Okay. I promise I didn't know what Absinthe would do. I just hope I was helpful.
Quite. I think my abs have gotten even more defined. He laughs.
Perhaps
think a
you
therapy-
Perhaps you should consider a weekly stream.
You think? Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I try to be as undercover as possible.
I mean, maybe they just think you're a YouTube star. You're a celebrity now, not a merc.
Yeah, I could use this to my advantage. I could figure out the algorithm to make more money, too.
In any case, we have a day before we need report for our group therapy painting session. How do we wish to use this time?
I'm going to start printing the recon drone just to have it ready.
Okay, it's summon ability, right? That costs you points or something, or
I think, yeah, it costs me. Let me look it up. I believe it's like 1 point.
yeah, and like
Just
it
summon
takes you
it?
like a bonus, an action or something, and it only lasts a certain amount of time, though, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at the.
Yeah, you won't need to do it now then because you can do it in like action. So
Okay.
Shall we consider taking off and examining that anomaly, the suspected Geth ship?
Was that within a day's trip?
that was at the very edge of your sense range. Since you were actually scanning the planet, it would have been just about the edge of the gravity well of the planet.
It is.
and you only called
It's
it
in
briefly.
orbit. We have a day. We may as well make effective use of our time.
And if we have to
For a
keep hanging out with these
tattoo, Poe?
humans, I'm gonna hit somebody.
Oh, what was that again, Alan?
If we
Aelin?
have to keep hanging out with these humans, I'd like to make it to that meeting with nobody trying to run us off the planet.
Then they'll think we've left, too. So we could surprise them kind of again.
Poe, you would respect this, but maybe it'd be like a little bit of their game they play with their children, like peekaboo.
peekaboo. I am unsure which ancient Earth myth refers to this game.
Dodgeball.
Oh yes, I have seen that ancient Earth myth. Dodgeball, yes. Very amusing. What say you? Do we wish to continue scouting here on the planet? Do we merely wish to wait to attend the meeting? Or do we wish to investigate the Geth?
My curiosity's towards the Geth.
Agreed.
To the Batmobile.
We're in it.
What?
We're in the Batmobile.
What is a Batmobile?
To Pegasus.
That's really far away.
So our plan is to take off, and I assume that we wouldn't have to pay docking fees again. We'd just be like, we just have to leave briefly and we'll be back.
So you want to just take off and you want to scan the planet, or like the orbit of the planet, like the local space, or what would you like to do specifically?
Let's kill a couple of birds with one stone. Get up there. We now know the trade routes and where these shipments went missing from.
Yep.
So we could scan the planet for that because we now have a localized area where that was happening. And then we'll also attempt to see if we can find that Geth ship again.
Sure. Okay, so you want to scan those colonies specifically with the first one? Make an investigation roll.
Not me.
I got a 12.
You don't need a really high roll for this because, again, they're just on the planet. Not particularly shielded or anything. They're not trying to stop you scanning them. So DC was like a 10. As far as you can tell, the colonies are there. The fabricable building's there. You can see that some of the equipment is still operational, but it looks like there hasn't been any sign that any like deliveries have left. And none of the automated trucks have left the berthing area around where the mine heads are. Several of the survey colonies that are much smaller and don't have full mines set up are survey posts. It doesn't look like there are any vehicles have left. The infrared that you're getting is all the vehicles are cold, which indicates that given the atmospheric temperature of the world, they probably haven't been used for at least 12 to 24 hours minimum. There's no sign that any vehicles have really moved recently. You don't notice anyone outside on thermals. You wouldn't be able to really tell the inside of the buildings particularly well, but the buildings also seem relatively cold. But that's harder to tell because you can't really get a good heat signature from inside a building.
Okay.
But it also includes... so this is Penthos, Cure, Nose, and also Geras, which wasn't listed before. The heat signatures at Geras are a little bit higher, but they are seeming to cool as you scan.
Interesting. Okay. Now let's try, I guess, just scanning for the Geth ship, see if we can find it again.
Okay, give it a go.
Investigation again. There we go.
Okay. This you need a much higher roll for, and you probably find it relatively easily because it's in the vicinity of Geras. It's currently dropping into the atmosphere near Geras. As you look at it, it seems to be a frigate-class vessel, pretty stealthy. It is resisting your scans. It seems to be designed to be as avoidable and unnoticeable as possible. However, as it's entering the atmosphere, you can kind of pick it up due to the heat bloom around its re-entry.
I'll alert the others to this and suggest to Dibagek that maybe we want to try to follow it in a stealthy manner.
I'm not the pilot.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Who is our pilot again?
Eileen.
It's Eileen.
Stealthy.
Yeah, sorry. I suggest to Eileen if we could maybe follow it. I will be prepared to hail it, though, if it notices us.
Okay. Eileen, make me a vehicle handling roll.
20.
Okay. I was looking for high DC, so 20. It seems that it comes in, loiters for a little bit of time, and as you're starting to make your approach into the atmosphere, it does seem to then take off again, having only been stationary for about less than a minute, actually thinking about it. As you're coming to the atmosphere, you've got a choice. You can either go to where it stopped, or you can follow it. And it stopped right over the township of Geras.
Since we're in the ship, my instinct would be to follow it, unless someone wants to disagree.
Can we pause briefly, and I'll see if I can get a further scan on. I'm assuming they were maybe scanning, so I'll see what they were looking for as we go past that position.
Sure. If you want to make a quick scan. This is like a high-res scan of Geras and see what they were doing there.
14 this time.
14. Unfortunately, with a 14, it's hard to tell. There's definitely a kind of a bubble around their ship, which is making scans difficult. And kind of a chunk of their ship is a very large Mass Effect field, which is kind of distorting your ability to scan the township. There isn't any more information than you'd have already got on the township or what's going on there during the short period that they're actually above the township. But they're only there for a very short period of time. But they are there probably about 50 meters above the township, maybe less.
Okay, interesting.
Let's see. If you want, you can make a wisdom roll to insight what this would be because of your background.
Okay. You said a wisdom roll?
Mm-hmm. Just flat wisdom. Nope.
5. Nope.
Nope. Sorry. So, as the Geth ship seems to start climbing steeply and building up speed, what is your plan?
We're currently still following them in a stealthy fashion, yes?
Mm-hmm. Do you want to keep following the ship, or do you want to go to the township?
What do we think?
I mean, yeah.
For the Geth or the humans?
These humans?
What if they're connected?
I don't think they can mate that way, Lessie.
Not mate. Like, what if they're working together?
I'm not sure the Geth would. It's hard to picture them working with humans.
Yeah, let alone bigoted humans.
They're capable of a lot of things, but also if someone was proficient in hacking them to do their bidding.
Interesting.
Well, we have about 10 seconds. Do you want me to land or follow?
I say follow the Geth.
I would have said vote land, so I leave it to Lessie and you.
I say we follow the Geth just for a little bit.
Yep, following.
Okay. The Geth ship seems to rapidly ascend and then go out of the atmosphere. If at any point, by the way, you want to turn back, just say during the narrative, but this is your following attempt. As it gets towards the edge of the atmosphere, Aileen, you'll need to make another vehicle handling roll to kind of keep stealth from them as they are 19. Okay. You notice a brief sensor sweep in your direction, which seems to just about skim the edge of your vessel. It's possible they caught sight of you, but you can't be certain initially. Not without scanning them, which would definitely give away your location.
Shall I
actually
hail?
finally goes to the weapons system.
Shall I hail them?
Gek falls from the ceiling.
Is that a no?
Do they look like they're fleeing?
From what you can tell right now, they seem to be surging the Mass Effect drive to get a sudden burst of power, so probably. Either that or they're going to combat stations.
I feel like it doesn't hurt to try to talk.
Are we agreed?
Hey, you do you. You're the talking one.
I look visibly nervous, but I nod my head yes towards Poe.
I'll hail the Geth ship.
Okay. You try and hail the ship, but it seems that whatever hailing ability you're trying to do is not getting through the jamming field that they're outputting, which is designed to kind of obfuscate sensors. It seems that whatever they're doing is kind of influencing or messing with the electromagnetic radiation that you're using to try and talk to them.
I say that we don't do anything that might be interpreted as hostile.
Oh, so don't press this button.
No, don't press that button.
Eileen was about to ask Leslie to be like, can you hack into their system?
Yeah, if you want to do any of that, you will need to close a little bit further with them, because you're kind of at like a tailing range as opposed to a combat range. If you want to come in and do that, totally go for it.
You get closer, I could.
I do not think we should take any action that might be interpreted as hostile. These Geth are not necessarily our foes, and perhaps might be allies, considering our opposition.
Fair point. So back down to the surface then.
Yes, shall we return to the settlement they were scanning?
I think that's a good idea.
If you think they were scanning, sure. Why not?
I'll turn us around.
I do not know this for a fact, but it is easy to surmise that in the time they were hovering above the settlement, that is what they were engaged in.
Maybe they're stealing the shipments.
As you're having this discussion, they seem to be circling around and slingshotting back around the planet. Now going to full speed.
Oh, they're certainly trying to get somewhere fast.
That is the question. Should we follow?
Oh, make up your mind. We're going to the surface.
Very well. Let us return to
Which settlement was it again? It was
Gerath.
Garath. Okay, let's go there and see what we can see.
Okay. As you're turning to try and head towards Garrus, you very rapidly realize that what they're doing is probably the same. They're trying to get back to Garrus as soon as possible. Do you want to race them to Garrus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta go fast.
Make me a vehicle handling roll.
21.
You get there, despite their head start, probably about 10 seconds before them. As your ship plunges through the atmosphere incredibly fast, your heat tiles that are designed to stop the re-entry speeds from just burning you alive start to glow like a hot red all along the bottom of this vessel as you plunge through the atmosphere. The guest vessel behind you, this kind of pearlescent, sleek, almost like purple gray blob, doing the same thing. Burst of red fire around as it streaks through the atmosphere. Both of you coming down hot towards the settlement. We're going to go to a break. We'll be back in 8 minutes and see where this goes. This could get interesting. Right, feel free to go get a drink, check out some fan art, go, I don't know, check out the Patreon or whatever. We'll be back in a few minutes and we'll see you then.
Go watch Leslie Gone Wild from Drinking Absinthe.
Watch that YouTube page actually pop up.
Oh dear. and welcome back to Roll For It. We're playing Mass Effect 5th Edition hack, Mass Effect Mercs, and I believe you have come in hot over a township where a Geth ship was there for like 30 seconds, and it's about to come in behind you. As you come in over the township, what's the plan? Are you planning to loiter, jump out, what? By the way, your ship does have a rudimentary VI, so you can tell it to do basic maneuvers without you. Like, you can tell it to go back to orbit or something if you wanted, and then come in and pick you up, etc. It rolls flat d20s for any task it's asked to do. So,
Gek will be ready and waiting to jump out of the ship.
Yeah, if they're coming hot, I feel like Eileen would want to be ready to just jump out.
okay. Is that everyone's
And
plan?
fall suit.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we send the ship back to the landing pad that we were at before?
Well, that's on the other side of the planet, isn't it?
It's not quite on the other side of the planet, but it's a good like 100, 200 kilometers away.
Yeah, let's not be stranded here.
Okay, so send it like up into orbit or something like that.
I mean,
I just worry that their ship will randomly decide to attack our ship with us not aboard.
Yeah, there is that. I
yeah.
mean,
If your ship is loitering right above somewhere and is staying stationary, attacks will basically auto hit it. Like, it's going to be rough. So,
let's see what they do first. That's what I say. Let's not. We have no idea what's on the ground there. We have no idea what their intentions are at this stage. I'm almost up for trying to hail them again. I know it didn't get through last time, but yeah.
okay, so you're going to jump out and you're going to leave your ship above the settlement for now, and then you can order it away.
Can we pre-program evasive maneuvers? Like, if it starts to take fire, it leaves.
If it starts to take fire, you could probably tell the VI. If it takes fire, then leave and go to like a loitering orbit, and then come back in if you call it again. You could do that, yeah.
Well, let's try that. I think that's the best of both worlds.
Are you jumping out on foot, or are you jumping out at the edge of town in your M38C Longfin? Because you can jump out in the middle of town by foot, or you can jump out at the edge of town in your little six-wheeler.
Right. Bringing the vehicle is probably a good idea.
Yeah, Eileen, you're going to be the driver, so yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay. So you all bundle into the vehicle. As the ship comes down, you all like rush from your stations as it's braking the last moment above the township. It gets to about 50 meters, then about 30 meters. The rear ramp, and then you drive out 30 meters over the ground. As your Thermachus comes out and starts to fall, little jump jets on the side, and it starts to descend slower. The Mass Effect generator in the back, you can actually hear an audible hum as it spins up and slows your descent until there's a with a bit of a bump. You land on the ground. Okay, you're at the edge of the town. What would you like to do? You probably have about one action before the Geth ship comes in and starts doing its thing.
If it were up to me, Aelin, I would probably try and get into a defensive position and a hidden spot.
Oh, right, hiding. Yeah, I guess we could try to hide.
Try and hide your small infantry fighting vehicle.
Sure, why not? It's a mining,
you can hide
it's a
behind a
mining
box.
settlement.
Okay. FYI, your VI will happily tell you something along the lines of,
Warning, the ship is being scanned. Warning, the ship is being scanned.
Send out a hail. I'm going to hail the Geth ship again.
unfortunately, you're now in the shadow of the Geth ship. All your communication systems aren't working, other than like very short range laser communications.
Oh, cool. It's being
okay.
scanned with none of us on it, so it doesn't know we're there.
Could I do something to, like, essentially contact the ship and have it relay a message to the Geth ship?
The ship wouldn't be able to message either. It's effectively like you can contact the ship because you've got laser communications between your vehicle and the ship, but any actual like radio waves or anything just getting blocked by the jamming field.
Okay.
Poe, if you want, you can get out and wave.
I think I will forego that particular experience.
Perhaps Ladsley can throw a pomegranate at him.
Well, maybe.
So that kind of gives me an idea. Can I somehow hack it to send a message to them because I know how the Geth work a little bit more.
You want to try and break through the Geth jamming?
Yeah.
Okay. This would be an electronics roll.
Okay.
Not a pomegranate, but maybe something better.
And I'll go over to a console and start rapidly typing.
That's not even a crit.
Yeah, that's not a crit. That's a 19.
Okay.
To a 28.
Yeah. The Geth are able, obviously, to do stuff in their own jamming field. Like, they were able to scan your craft. So they obviously have a way through it. And by effectively analyzing their scanning of you, you manage to backtrace a way through their, like, actual fluctuations in the field, which they seem to be using as, like, a window to be able to scan. And you can get a communication in. If you want, you could now communicate with the Geth ship, provided it's short burst communication. So you can do that now.
We can send a message now.
Send them the video I made of you.
No. I mean, maybe it's best they don't know it. That I'm here. Right now. Oh, what should we say? Aelin?
Oh, you wanted to talk to them?
Very well. Greetings. This is Edgar Poe. I wish to parley with you, most honored Geth.
I'm typing as he's speaking, and I hit send.
Okay. As you're doing this, because that would be effectively like 2 actions back to back, the Geth ship comes in, and literally right in front of your ship, because you're at the edge of town, the Geth ship goes kind of to the center of the town. It's probably only like 50 meters away from your ship, which is nuts in terms of actual capital ship like closeness. And it seems to be activating a mass field below it, and you can see like things shooting up from the ground to the Geth ship.
That's odd.
I'm going to try and see what they're pulling up from their ship.
Do you have any form of vision magnification?
I have my ability to see infrared and...
within 60 meters, and...
Yeah, these are 60 meters.
You wouldn't be able to, like, see what they're picking up. It's too far away. It seems to be something maybe humanoid-shaped or sized, and there seem to be several of them.
We do have weaponry. We have weaponry too on this thing.
You get a message back which says something along the lines of,
Please stay clear. This is a Geth operation. Please do not interfere.
That way, Aelin. That way, Aelin. I can't pronounce names.
I'll start driving towards whatever's going on.
Also, your ship will say that it's being locked onto, and would you like it to take evasive maneuvers, or would you like it just to sit there?
Evasive maneuvers.
Okay, your ship starts to steeply climb and start to like spiral around, do barrel rolls as it goes towards orbit. There's no sign of fire going towards it, but it does start to move, which will try and increase its AC. Edgar Poe, since you're the one giving the order, would you like to roll a flat D20? This is effectively it trying to take the maneuver action, which will increase its AC.
Flat D20, you say, yes?
Yep. The VI works on a flat D20.
I know what it takes to do it. Yes!
13?
Oh, sorry.
17. Yes, it succeeds. So the AC goes up by half its speed rating, so it's now AC 20 if anyone shoots at it.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. At this point, the Geth vessel begins to steeply ascend, but goes off in a different direction. Which,
So they stopped the Mass Effect field?
They've stopped the Mass Effect field and they're headed away.
Okay, if they don't seem to be attacking the ship, I know it'll take a while to get here, but we'll recall the ship so that we can get back on it at some point. But we might want to drive the vehicle closer just to see if we can examine from the ground what they were doing.
Yeah.
Okay. I will stop the combat music. The combat that was...
Woo, okay,
You've had two almost combats so far.
Because of my background in learning how to combat Geth, do I notice anything in their patterns that I can like infer from the situation?
I think all of you would infer that due to orbital mechanics and the way they took off, the easiest takeoff is to go with the rotation of the planet. But while your ship, to go the fastest possible to get to orbit, went that kind of direction, they deliberately did not. So they were trying not to engage or go near your ship. They were deliberately avoiding your ship when they took off.
Okay.
It seems like they want nothing to do with us.
Or they're hiding something, maybe.
Yes, they don't appear overtly hostile. They did ask us politely not to interfere. Let us see what it was that they did not wish to interfering with, yes?
It's incredibly evident as you begin to like look out of the armored vehicle that you're in. Not the best of sight lines, but as you look around, there's no one here. This place is meant to have a population of about 160 something.
They were abducting humans.
You did say that the things they were sort of sucking up into the ship were roughly humanoid sized. And
roughly humanoid sized. You're a bit too far away to see properly, but it did seem to be that way. It was from the center of town, and there'd be a few of them. It wouldn't be 160 something. It would be maybe a dozen maximum.
Oh, okay. So it's not like we just watched them vacuum up the town.
No.
Yeah, but they had already landed too, and done something, and then run off.
Who knows?
Well,
Maybe they're investigating why this place.
Actually, just to be clear, they didn't land the first time. They were just hovering 50 feet above, or 50 meters above the...
Pretty much the same as they did this time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have been doing the same thing.
They could have been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We could scan their ship now to see if they have any life forms on it.
We'll need to get back to our ship to pull that off.
Yeah. Or we could scan the town too and see if there's anyone left.
I don't know if they're taking people. Maybe they were just investigating the instance of the lack of people here.
I think we should scan the town.
What else could they have been vacuuming up, though?
Themselves?
Same.
By the way, your Thermachus does have a sensor console.
Oh, okay.
So you have, I think the Thermachus has 2 weapon consoles, 1 helm console, and a combined drive / comms and communication and scanning console. So yeah, you can make an investigation roll to scan the township.
Sounds good.
It wouldn't be powerful enough to scan particularly far away, but it could scan the township for certain.
Because we're in the middle of it.
Yeah. I mean, you're at the edge of it right now, yes.
Sure. Investigation, yes?
Yep. 17.
That do.
Yeah. You kind of scanned this from orbit earlier, and it does seem to be what you expected. The thermal signatures here are decreasing. The mine output is still ongoing because it's mostly automated, but none of the vehicles have moved. There is some activity in the local comms net, which you can only tell by scanning. You wouldn't know what it is until you actually log into a data terminal or something. But there does seem to be movement.
Is it just like a lot of traffic on that video for Drunk Quarian 420?
It's just a lot of bots running out of here, just racking up the views. So Diba can be like, yeah, totally loads of views. It also seems like there are a few dead bodies. You can tell because they're cooling, and because now you're a lot closer, you can see kind of a little bit of readings from biological material in the air. Again, you need to investigate properly to get a good read, but there are a few bodies, not 162 or whatever it's meant to be. Probably talking in the region of 7.
How long do we have before our ship gets back?
Your ship will be back probably in the next 60 seconds because it only went up a little way before turning around.
I'm getting the sense that it might be it'll probably delay us, but I'm thinking we should probably examine these bodies.
Agreed. Eileen will park somewhere good.
In a garage somewhere, preferably.
there is a garage you can see up the street with the panel door kind of up and open. Yeah, if you want to park in there, you could.
In the interest of speed, Poe might just fly over to. He's actually got with his biotic flying ability, he's got a movement rate of 30 meters. And he casts it as a bonus action as well. So
I mean, your transport has a pretty fast speed because it's a Mako type vehicle. So if you want to use that,
all right, yeah.
I'd rather just park near the bodies. Yeah.
Okay.
I can run 48 meters on one turn.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Your vehicle can still go faster than you, but it's impressive. Yeah. You make your way towards the center of town.
Do I have the highest? I got a medicine of +5.
Actually,
is that the highest skill? Highest in medicine?
Mine's
I only have a +4. So yeah.
Okay. Poe will once we stop and pop out. Poe will investigate the nearest body with medicine.
The center of town is where it looked 24. The center of town is where it looked like the Geth ship had stopped and done its pickup drop-off thing. Around here, there's a big space that's being cleared. It looks like things have been shunted to the side. You can see small ground cars that have been pushed almost into the actual fabric of nearby prefab buildings. Litter has collected. Personal belongings have been dumped in some places.
Ooh, personal belongings.
Yeah, there's just generic whatever people would carry on a daily basis. There's a couple of kits for mining inspection stuff. There's probably, someone's got a little med kit that they've dumped off to the side. A number of shopping bags. Several tool kits that have been half filled with random bits and bobs and spare parts. And in the center, all standing quite peacefully in a line and having fallen where they were shot, 7 bodies. 1 Volus, 3 Asari, 2 Solarian, and a Hanar.
Poe will examine the so whichever the closest body was with that medicine 24.
Well, 24, you can do an overview of all of them.
Sure.
They've all been shot point blank, close range, single bullet to the head.
Not human.
None of them are human, no.
Yeah.
All aliens. This does not bode well.
Poe is going to say a little bolus funerary prayer over the dead bolus anyway. And I'm not quite sure what view. He sort of twists the eyepieces so that they close.
This is most disturbing. The Geth may have been reclaiming slain Geth for all we know. This has the stink of Cerberus upon it.
And with the 24, time of death, you'd put at maybe 12 to 16 hours ago. No, given maybe 14 to 18 hours.
Would a 24 on medicine let me know what sort of determine, roughly what kind of weapon it was? Maybe
probably a assault rifle with single shot setting. Some kind of single shot assault rifle, probably.
Can I collect any of the slugs for ballistic analysis?
You need an investigation roll to find them because they tend to go kind of far and fragment. But yeah, you could roll investigation.
I'll try one to see if I can find one.
14. You can find pieces. They aren't rifled or anything, so it's hard to match them up to a particular gun of any kind. But you could certainly try and match them as best you can to any known weaponry.
I'm going to roll... Sorry, I was going to say I'm going to roll investigation to look for anything useful in the heaps of personal belongings.
Sure.
More gum.
There's some lovely gum, Chekhov's gum.
You mentioned a med kit. Does it have any Medigel in it?
Yeah, there's 2 Medigel on it.
I'll nab those for later, and I'll see if I can just I can probably use my Omni tool to just capture images of the wounds and the position of the bodies and that sort of thing.
And you could basically get like a full medical scan with the 24 that you can like put into the Omnivore.
Cool. Okay.
Can I do a walk around of the settlement to see if I find anything suspicious?
Okay, yeah. Roll me investigation.
21.
Okay. You hear what appears to be kind of a wheezing sob, quickly stifled, coming from a building nearby as you're going around the outskirts.
I'm just walking around and I hear that, and the group just sees me take off running towards the
I'll run
wheezing
after her.
cough.
Gek is not only going to run after her, but run in front of her.
This is like you were looking around the center, and Leslie was kind of walking around the settlement, so she was more towards the periphery. So like she would definitely get there first. Leslie, as you get in, you find yourself in what appears to be like a little residential house. The door's been left open. Most of the doors to most of the houses around here seem to have been left open. Everything inside seems to be kind of normal for a house. There's even like a dining table with plates and cutlery set out on it. This house itself, though, there'll be one thing different, and that would be that this was probably a Volus house. They're especially pressurized, so they don't have to wear the suits inside because of their atmosphere. And both doors, as in airlock doors, have been left open. The entire atmosphere has gone.
You notice Leslie's more confident in her movements and definitely not as jittery. And I'll pull out my M4 just to start like cautiously go in and start scoping out the residence.
Okay. You hear again a come from one of the rooms off to the side.
I'm going to investigate.
Looking around, it looks like a small bedroom. Things have been hastily thrown aside. It looks like something has been pulled out of like one of the wardrobes very quickly. And you can kind of catch movement under the bed.
I'm going to just cautiously go over and crouch down. And if there's like a blanket hanging over the side, start lifting it up to see who's under the bed. Is there like blood and stuff on the floor?
Nope.
Okay. Then I'm just going to, I'm going to start lifting up the blanket cautiously, see who's there.
As you look under, there is a very round ball, which initially kind of looks like someone has left a partially deflated beach ball before you realize that it's probably actually a Volus. Maybe like a child or a teenager. Relatively small, like Volus are quite rotund but short, but this one is maybe half that normal size, like half the size of Poe. And you occasionally catch the
It's okay. It's okay. You wait here.
And I'm going to stand up and I'm going to go try to close the doors to see if I can get the environment back to what he needs or she needs.
To quickly repressurize the environment and to fix that, make me an electronics roll.
Okay. 19.
Very quickly, you put like the protocols in, and it does a quick like depressurized override, and it dumps all the reserve atmosphere that it has back into the room. And over the course of like a minute, Deba, Eileen will get there, and it's this room, and then eventually the rest of the house. But this room specifically will now be pressurized. And you can see the child is breathing a little bit easier. It's no longer quite so labored. And the suit is slowly starting to refill as the little canister on it will detect that the air is suitable and it will start to refill itself.
I assume the rest of us have arrived at this point.
Yeah,
right? We're
yeah,
not
you'll
sealed
go there.
outside the house. Okay.
I'm going to crouch down and try to coax the kid out.
We're here to help. You want to take my hand?
Is there a window to this room that I can look in from the outside instead of being in the house?
Yeah. There'll be like a big window with, it's got curtains pulled over it. If anything, it probably also has a few pieces of furniture stacked up behind the actual curtains itself. You can maybe get a glimpse through because you've very high past perception and stuff. You can kind of just about see in. but someone's definitely make attempts to kind of prevent you seeing in. Not very good attempts, but they have been attempts made. Let's see. Make me a persuasion roll.
Okay.
Also advantage because you repressurized the room.
Okay.
Oof.
Maybe
they're coming.
I think it's okay. I think they're gone now.
But I'll look over at Poe.
Yeah, Poe will sort of like waddle into the room and sort of, so from the kid's perspective, like Avola's face suddenly appears under the bed as well, and just says,
There, little one. It is safe now. We will protect you.
Persuasion, I assume?
Okay, yeah.
At advantage or no?
At advantage. You're a friendly Volus face. 21. The Volus, like, slowly pulls themselves out from underneath, looks up, pushes themselves up. You notice that their suit is, like, still trying to reinflate. Obviously, they had a problem that they didn't get the suit on quick enough when it actually depressurized around them, and they were forced to make amends and run at a lower pressurization on the suit.
Is your suit still hermetically sealed? It has not been damaged?
The voices, they come.
Ease yourself.
You shouldn't be here.
Calm yourself. We are here to help. I am Edgar Poe. What is your name?
You shouldn't be here. They come.
Do you want to breathe with me? I know how this feels. Just breathe with me.
And I'll start doing like a very animated breathe in, breathe out, and I'm gonna hold one of their hands.
Okay. Make me an extra persuasion check, just to...
10.
Okay. On top of Edgar's 21, over the course of the next, like, 10 minutes, she does calm down a little bit.
And did she tell us her name?
Rin.
Rin. You may call me Edgar.
Voices, they come.
Whose voices? Whose voices, child? Did the Geth do this? Was
Voices, they come.
Was it humans?
I missed them. I should go to them. And she gets up and starts to walk.
I'll restrain her.
Okay.
No, not now. Perhaps we will all go together later. But for now, I feel you may need medical attention.
She tries to resist, so make me an athletics roll.
I'm going to use biotics to restrain her. It'll just be a more certainly better than him doing an athletics roll.
Okay. Which power do you want to use?
Let's see here. Now lift with how she's teeny, so lift might actually work on her.
Oh yeah, no, she's smaller than you. No, she's probably considered small because tiny is legit like tiny as a size, so she's probably still small.
But small, like I'm small and she's smaller than me.
Yeah.
So
well, she's just about small. Yeah.
Again, being very gentle, just sort of like gently lift her, and again, not to freak her out, sort of come around to the front. It's like, there. It is all right. You may trust me. I am a Volus.
Does she have to make a saving throw?
I don't think so. I think if she's just like teeny. Let me just get the description.
There's normally a saving throw, but she'll probably fail it. But
I guess, yeah. Strength check.
15. Does that beat your spell save DC?
It does not. My spell save DC is 17.
No. She's now lifted into the air. Leslie watches this like little Vola's child is now just floating in midair, struggling to get away. I need to go. I need to go.
We will all go. We will all go soon. But first, you must be cared for. Where are your parents?
My dad went. I should go join them. I need to go.
Soon enough. Soon enough.
How close is our ship to showing up?
It'll be hovering.
We've probably got better medical facilities on board.
You have a medbay on board, yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking in with the others. Everyone cool with bringing the Volus kid on board and checking her out medically?
Yeah, I would be.
Debo's outside, so this is your guys' decision.
Yeah, Eileen is out the front door.
You can communicate via Omnitool if you want.
Yeah, Poe seems very concerned that this kid has now become his priority. So he's like,
we need to get her back to the ship.
We do.
And I'm typing on my Omni tool to send a message to both Gek and Aelin that we found a bolus child who's we're gonna bring aboard.
You hear Debo whistle as if that'll bring the ship closer.
I actually have a question. Because Eileen had checked social media and seen social media stuff still going. Was all of that a human?
Okay, so do you want to log onto a terminal while you're here and check out the social media stuff?
I mean, yeah, I think I'd want to log into a terminal. For sure.
You can make electronics or insight rolls to have a look at the social media.
Let's go with insight, because electronics is not a good idea. 13.
I mean, as you watch, there is a post from someone from the settlement saying, lovely day to go mining today, hashtag mine day, hashtag every day.
Cool. Super
And
fake. Awesome.
There's a lot of similar posts getting posted at regular intervals. As you look around, there's literally no one here.
This child seems to be in the thrall of something. From what I have read, it reminds me of nothing so much as the strange mental effect which occurred on those exposed to Reaper technology.
It's almost like she's in a trance. We need to calm her down.
We will know more once we have her scanned aboard the ship.
In the meantime, he's going to be, again, he's trying to placate her as much as possible and just assure her that, yes, we will be going to where you want to go, but not right now. We have to hold on for a bit.
Okay. Eventually she calms down, but she goes very much into a kind of like trance-like state, kind of becoming non-responsive.
Debo messages Eileen and just says, I'll get the car. It's just like a text message.
Don't crash, please.
Can I listen? I mean, I'll start to head outside and I'll tell Poe that as I'm walking past.
I'm gonna see if there's others.
And go outside and start doing another quick walkabout before the ship gets here.
It's already here, but as Poe walks back slowly, make an investigation roll.
Okay. 23.
23. Yeah, as you walk around, you get very much the sense that there is no one here. She seems to be an anomaly. You go around, doors are open, meals are literally on table. You can see food that has cooled and been left, and flies are buzzing around it in places. Things have been dropped in the street. Cars seem to have just been stopped, and people seem to have left doors open. It's very much like, you know, any sort of apocalypse movie, which apocalypse comes very suddenly and everyone abandons town. Like 28 Days Later type. You're walking around, everything is abandoned, signs are flickering, people have left terminals with, you know, reports half written. But with a 23, as you get to the comms relay, you do notice that social media is still being posted.
Wait,
Like from here, from this town. Settlement. Okay.
Don't wreck the car.
Wait, so they'd be able to post it remotely, like one assumes, like just on their Omni tools or stuff. So are they wherever they are they updating their social media?
I mean, someone is updating the social media for certain around here. If you would like to investigate that, you totally can. It'll be a case of doing a hacking roll or possibly electronics.
I was gonna say,
I'll try
There you
electronics if somebody else wants to hack.
Anyone have hacking tools?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Give it a crack.
Okay. What would you like me to roll?
I'm no
Yeah,
good
if you want to
with
roll
the-
hacking intelligence. Electronics of 9. They're certainly posting social media. It's hard to really tell. You aren't able to get more of a fix than social media is constantly being posted.
Okay, so sorry, where's hacking intelligence?
It'll be a tool if you've had it as a tool.
Oh, my
proficiency.
hacker's kit. Okay, sorry about that. 17.
17, yeah. It looks like someone has effectively spoofed what the social media is, and it seems to be getting posted from the actual comms relay in the center of town. Like, the comms relay is posting people's social media here, and then when it's updating to, like, all the other colonies, when they're accessing the social media that's been posted here, they're going through the comms relay, and instead of the message then getting routed to wherever the social media is meant to be coming from, the comms relay is replying, saying that people have posted social media. No one's posting social media. The comms relay is faking it. And you would tell that there is a rogue device that has been installed on the comms relay.
I would relay all of that to them as I'm finding it out.
And
on
it's
top
possible.
of that,
Go on.
well, just whatever happened here happened fast, and no one was prepared for it. There's food with flies on it, and things dropped in the streets. Someone planned this and then surprised them.
And it is possible that this is not the only settlement this is happening in. Clearly, they want to prevent these abductions, if that is what they are, from being discovered. The question is why they executed the non-humans. It's clear that, well, there must have been more than... We've only found one Volus body, right?
One Volus body, a couple of Solarians, a couple of Zari, Hannah.
Rin has not mentioned how big her family was, has she? No.
No, she
said her
mentioned just
dad.
a dad. She didn't mention a mum.
Okay. Well, I don't want to just show her the body and go, is this your dad?
I actually want to crouch down in front of Rin.
Okay.
If I look at her, is she looking directly back at me? Like, is she actually looking at me, or is she like super
No,
tensed out?
you can't really tell actually because you can't see the eyes of the Volus. You can only see the goggles. But as far as you're aware from the body language, she seems to be completely zoned out.
I want to try a mind meld.
Okay. Okay.
Well, because easiest way to see what's in her head.
What happens if you mind meld with somebody who might be indoctrinated?
Hi, welcome to GM quickly trying to analyze a problem from all known data. Okay, do you want to print mind meld into the chat?
Do you want mind meld or my variant?
Your variant. If they're unwilling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, how do you approach this? You kind of were kindly approaching it.
Crouch down and try to look in her eyes and be like, is that all right if I touch you?
Okay, make me a persuasion check with advantage because you're approaching it nicely.
Crit. 25.
She doesn't seem to react, but she does not resist and will not be considered resisting for the purposes of your mind meld. I make a charisma saving throw.
Mm-hmm. Really hoping you pass so we get information.
I'll be honest, probably not. Okay. The child just keels over like you just kicked the beach ball backwards and just starts to like roll around. Roll me
I mean,
d4.
she's just asleep. Well, unconscious.
What have you done?
Roll me a d4. Okay. Yeah, as she goes over backwards, there's just a kind of like a hoarse
I'll catch her.
squeaking sound, like a... As she goes over backwards and just is rotating on the back of the ball, like, you know, like one of those like puppets that have like a semicircular base with a weight in it, and you knock them back and they go like that. She's just rotating on her back and forth.
Eileen will pick her up, but her eyes are all black when she turns back to the rest of the crew for like a moment.
What was that?
I was hoping a mind meld would get us more information, but at least she is calm now.
She is calm. Is she injured?
No.
Are you sure?
Can I get
She's
I'm
not
gonna get
dead.
Was she hurt? Like, can I try with insight? Like, is she actually injured?
Sure, make an insight roll. 17. She's unconscious, and the bit before unconsciousness is her nervous system was overloaded and overwhelmed and effectively shut down because of that.
I think this is perhaps a bit of overkill.
I don't know. And Diva walks over and pushes Poe to see if Poe falls backwards and said, "Did that hurt?"
You're about to find out what biotics feel like. Listen.
So she is, as far as Poe knows, like she didn't actually suffer, hit points dead. Like she doesn't need immediate medical attention as far as he knows.
No, she's unconscious due to having her nervous system overloaded, but the nervous system overload would have been painful.
It could have been from anything. She had been in a trance and all that,
Yeah. Also, Eileen, make me a wisdom saving throw. With advantage, because it did fail.
18.
Yeah, you're fine.
Perhaps we may abstain from any further probing of this young one's mind.
I thought probing was what aliens did.
We are.
My name's Eileen.
Eileen's do probing. Got it.
So if the ship is here, Poe's probably going to rush Rin to the medical bay.
I'll carry Rin. I mean, unless somebody takes her from me. But
actually, no. Poe is like, no, that's fine. That is fine. You have done enough. And like,
I imagine
lift.
Poe hops in the car because Diva's right there with the vehicle. He drove the vehicle over.
Okay. You just rush back to the ship. Easy enough. Aileen, you're kind of left there. Leslie, you're still investigating the source at this point, so you've just discovered that there's a rogue device in the transmitter. Edgar and Diva head to the vehicle, head to the vessel. Aileen and Leslie, do you want to do anything?
I think once I've done my hacking and then I've scoped the area, I'm just gonna head back to the ship so I can help with Rin.
You notice Aileen kind of a little bit left by herself.
I'd go up to her.
Is everything all right?
it will be. It will be. Did you find anything?
There's a rogue device in the comms. Have you seen the social media? It's updating still.
So, could you locate the origin of the device?
No. I'll start doing that though.
I'll start working on if I can locate any more information about it.
Yeah. This one you'll need to physically inspect the actual device itself. So it'll be on the comms relay. So if you want to do that, you'll have to climb up the side of a building and do a engineering check. There's no roll for climbing because you can take your time. So
How far away is the comm relay? Is it pretty close?
It's in the center of town, so you've already
Okay.
kind of been past it when you went to look at the bodies.
I'll go check the relay before we leave, and I'll meet you back on the ship.
I don't think I want to leave you alone.
I mean, I haven't found anybody else in town.
Eileen will still wait.
Okay.
Once we've got Rin secured and we see that the others are moving towards the center of town, like I'll let Dibagak know that we'll to maybe move the ship closer to the center of town as well, so we can pick them up quickly.
Ooh, I get to fly now too?
Yes, is that within your capacities?
Yes.
Good.
I'll let you try and fly the ship. Yeah, you're not trained, so give it a go.
Oh wait, maybe don't. If you don't know how to do it at all, then I thought you said you were a jack of all trades.
You do jack of all trades, it's true.
How'd you do?
15.
Yeah, not bad. Like, let's see, as you're kind of like opening the side of the comms relay, you hear a and you look up and the top of the comms relay is brushing against the bottom of your gunship slowly, like this little scrape of paint.
I just watch in awe, like waiting for everything to come crashing down until it like finally passes over.
It doesn't actually come crashing down. It kind of bends a little bit, but it seems like it was only just touching it, and that kind of stops there, kind of just at a slight angle.
Is that as I'm climbing?
As you're climbing the building, it's just got up to the top and you're starting to leave the panel off.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna freeze and like hold on to anything and everything I can until it's finally settled.
Okay. If you want to give
I
me that engineer.
understand why Eileen, you get a message. I understand why you like doing this so much.
I'm gonna send a message back. If you touch the hammer, just don't touch the hammer. The like Krogan Warhammer thing that's like decorative.
These are not the hammer.
You're not keeping that seat.
Can we get any sort of the equivalent of like a brain scan, ECG, or anything of Rin?
Yep.
Do I
I will
need
do
to
that
make a new
after
medic?
we've done the comms relay thing. So let's see. Give me an
That's what I'll be
engineering roll.
working on.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
29!
Beautiful.
This is a very high-tech piece of technology. It's effectively it effectively has like a very, very advanced VI in it, capable of basically looking at existing posts in social media and also like schedules and reports and so on, and then falsifying forwards in time and trying to anticipate what some normal social media interaction would look like. It's still a little bit obvious to someone who's definitely looking for it, but it's very, very advanced. Like, this is probably like Geth or Reaper or something derived tech. It's highly advanced. Like, you'd have seen something like this before, but it wouldn't ever be something that is made by yourself or like anyone else without basing it off of someone else's technology. It also seems to be falsifying mine reports and replying to limited amounts of messages. So it's also capable of falsifying voice recordings based on samples in the databank. And you can see that it's definitely replied to people saying, hey, where's my mineral shipment? By going back in time, looking at like reasons mineral shipments weren't sent, and then falsifying that forwards and saying, oh, it has been sent, it must not have got there. Thresher activity. Oh, we had a problem with the mine head. Like, it's actually a very advanced piece of technology. It's not quite an AI, but it is a very advanced VI.
I would, as quickly as I could, make a synopsis of it. Just type out, because I know we're all scattered. And can I send any of the documents from this via my Omni tool to everybody else?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to like start pulling things. And then at the end of my message, do you want me to deactivate this?
Perhaps it is best to leave it intact so that whoever placed it does not know it's been interfered with.
But if we deactivated it, could draw them back in.
True.
I'll wait a few more minutes to see if Gek writes back.
Gek's response is, This hammer's heavy.
So I'll write back after I get that. I shake my head a little bit and then I go, I'll leave it activated for right now. Is there a way that I can connect to it so I can deactivate it later on from a remote location?
You'd probably need to physically pull it.
Okay.
Because again, the VI in there is very advanced. If you try and do a software block, it will try and fix itself.
Okay. Because this is the first settlement we've been to and I don't want to start, if we're going to go investigate more, I'm going to leave this one running and I'm going to start heading down side of the building.
Okay.
In the med bay, anything anomalous? Probably something anomalous, but what do the brain scans reveal?
You hear a clank from the front of the ship as you're looking at the brain scans. What appears to sound like Dieberget trying to pick up Thor's hammer and dropping it on his foot. The brain scans themselves give me a medicine intelligence roll as opposed to wisdom because you're using the equipment here.
Okie doke.
Anything intelligence that you're proficient in will do, or you can just roll your intelligence and we'll add +4.
Electronics?
Yeah, that'll do. 23. Yes, it looks like there have been several alterations to the nervous system of this child. And that a number of... There are synapses that are dead ends now because they just suffered some severe nervous trauma. Thankfully, you rolled very high because otherwise your scan would just indicate a very recent nervous trauma. But there also seems to be some rewiring in the past.
Okay, I'm going to do what I can to mitigate the immediate damage. And,
they'll probably be fine in about 3 hours.
Okay.
You can give them something for headache.
Yeah. Probably a little bit of a painkiller. Maybe some sedation as well.
Yeah, if you want to sedate them, that's well within your capability.
Okay.
If you want to keep them sedated, that's also well within your capability.
I think just some mild sedation for now.
Okay.
Just to keep them calm. So, what is our next... have the others rejoined us on the ship?
Yeah, they'll be back aboard about now.
Okay. I reveal what I learned.
Unsurprisingly, the child had recently suffered some mental trauma, but there is also evidence of some, shall we say, manipulation.
Do you know what kind?
What sort of impression would I have received from the scans I did?
There was active rewriting of the way that her brain was connected. It wasn't just damage or anything. There was active rewriting going on. You wouldn't be able to know more than that because this is something definitely beyond skill or experience of anyone, unless you're like a very specialist in the area or something. But you'd know that it was someone's actively rewriting her brain. It looks like it maybe wasn't as successful as it should have been due to it being someone who had a actively being rewritten brain, being, a child and having a brain that was developing, in addition to possibly being voted as a non-human.
My medical knowledge of probably would be primarily in Volus biology. How much knowledge do I have, would Poe have, of indoctrination and that sort of thing?
You might be able to draw a connection because it's probably the only thing that would be rumored to have gone on, and it did go on publicly during when Sovereign was running around. So you'd probably be able to maybe draw that conclusion.
Okay, I'll voice those suspicions to the rest of the group.
Most ominous, I fear.
You're saying that possibly those bodies were killed because they weren't whatever this indoctrination is. They weren't indoctrinated.
That is a possibility.
Actually, I wouldn't know what indoctrination is because I have this. I have an eidetic memory. Eidetic memory. I have this.
Yes, that is a possibility. Perhaps they proved resistant, if that is what we are in fact facing, and were dispatched. This device that you found in the communications array, Leslie, was it your impression that it was... what technology was it?
It was suspicious for Reaper or Geth. It's a little concerning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we report back to the guy that he shouldn't expect any shipments anytime soon and that his messages saying things were sent were probably fake?
I don't know if I want to tell them.
No, I think best to keep them in the dark for now.
They also didn't seem to care very much.
Perhaps we should investigate the other settlements.
Or where the ship went.
What is our vote? Shall we attempt to track the Geth further, or...
We could scan for the Geth while going to the next settlement.
Yes, this sounds wise.
We could scan the Geth ship to see if there's any life forms on board now. I think that would be helpful.
But are we getting paid to figure out what the Geth are doing, or are we getting paid to find these speciesist, humanoid, terrible people?
There is every chance that they are connected. We know that Cerberus's past meddlings with Reaper technology has ended poorly.
All of the people who were executed were aliens. They're no humans.
That's fair.
In my investigating, did I see any evidence of humans living in that settlement?
You probably would have, with the number of rolls you got, found like a colony census at some point, and out of the 162, there were 8 non-humans, 7 you found dead, 1 you found Rin.
Then that Volus is likely her father.
I'll remember that, and I'll send the census to all of them on their Omni tools so they could see the ratio of alien to humans.
It's okay, Poe. People can survive without their fathers. I didn't have a father.
Yes, we've seen the result of a lack of parental supervision. Yes, I think your idea is sound. Let us attempt to locate the Geth ship again, but in the meantime, make our way to the next settlement.
The nearest one to here is Nosei or Phobos, if you want to go to one of the ones that has not been listed as a problem. But Nosei is one of the ones that was mentioned to you as having not sent a shipment in a while.
Nosei.
I'd rather go to Nosei first.
Yes, and Phobos, the god of fear.
I have no say one way or the other.
I was waiting for that one. All right.
So to find the Geth ship again, would that be an electronics roll, investigation?
It would be investigation. You'd also probably need to go to orbit because you would have a trouble finding a ship when you're so close to the ground because it kind of would be blocking most of your sensor field. So if you wanted to, you could go to orbit and then make that scan again.
Eileen, will you take us to orbit?
All right. I'll take us up.
You go into like a high orbit, and if you want to make the scan, go for it. You're scanning the immediate vicinity, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Just a 13, sadly.
With a 13, there is no sign of the Geth ship.
Next settlement, I guess.
Okay. As you head down towards Nosei, as you get down there, having a look around, doesn't seem to be any movement. The settlement seems relatively cold.
I definitely want to land and look for more non-human bodies.
Okay.
Perhaps if the Geth ship sees us again, they targeted us before, did they not?
They took the lock-on action. Yeah.
So I'm just concerned about losing our ship. That's all. I don't want to get stuck on this human planet, if you understand.
Yeah, understandable.
Although it would be nice to kind of beat some of them up.
Some of us could stay on the ship, and some of us could go down. I'll go down.
I should probably stay on the ship. Huh.
I will accompany.
What are you talking about? I can fly.
Leslie, I will accompany you then.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I want the two in the hermetic suits going by themselves down to the surface of a planet.
Good point.
I look over at Gek and I don't say anything.
I'll go with Leslie.
Yes, perhaps, Gek, you will be certainly much more stealthy than I would.
And maybe I'll find pomegranates.
Well, if we stay close together...
We could just ask the VI to be in evasive maneuvers and we could all go. Because I'm now getting concerned.
It'll be okay.
I'll start preparing to go down to the planet.
Gek doesn't prepare and kind of just jumps out whenever he can.
Okay.
Eileen's going to double check that Leslie remembers where to punch Gek that will hurt most before.
It's probably my gills and my neck.
Do you just go down in the middle of the town square?
I mean, I would. I'd be like, that's where all the action was last time. We scanned it already. It seemed cold. I mean, I would go down at the ready with like a weapon out.
Sure. Immediately you land, like within 10 meters of you, you find the corpse of an Elcor, along with the corpse of 2 Tyrians.
Tyrians must have eaten pomegranates.
Oh, okay. So if we've landed, then I guess I'll come out as well. Do the same thing. I'll examine the bodies while the rest of you examine the things you're good at.
Okay. Make a medicine wisdom check.
Gek, I don't think these were pomegranates.
18.
Both Tyrians, 2 shots to the head. The Elcor, amusingly enough, it took 3 shots.
Can I go around looking for a census again and also trying to find any survivors?
You'll eventually find a census, so that's not a problem. The population here was about 207. There were 3 non-humans who you found. Having a look around, make an investigation check.
Okay. Once I get the census, I'm going to send it off to all of them. Oh. 28.
No sign of anyone alive. Again, a lot of open doors, meals halfway through, tools and work kits just dropped. There's one like auto mechanic you find with what appears to be like the car up on jacks. The bonnet hood is open, pieces have been pulled out and laid around, and it's just been left like that.
Everywhere you go and are investigating, you find Gek doing something ridiculous, like climbing on the house or doing back handsprings or various other things all over the place of wherever you're going. Like sticking with you.
I feel like I go to a new place, then I hear a sound behind me and he's like doing a backflip, or he's on a ceiling in like the next place because he's so quick. And I just, at first, like you see me getting startled, but the more it happens, I start to get at ease with it and feel better that he's with me versus like that I'm roaming this dangerous place by myself. Is there social media still happening?
Yeah. You probably like, as you're looking at it, there's a post which is something along the lines of, great time to be living in Nosei, hashtag excitement, hashtag fun, and it's got like a selfie, seems to be taken by a human woman with 2 other women in the background.
I mean, same as the last time. I'd climb up to the comms relay, check out that again.
Same device seems to be installed in exactly the same place.
Send that on my Omni tool to all of them again. If Gek's here, I'll just say,
Should I destroy it?
And send that off to Aelin and Poe.
Why don't you take it so we can examine it further?
Would it? Gek would actually inquire and just say, would it stop working if you shut off connection? Like, not removing it from the comms unit, but made the comms unit not have power?
It would shut it down, and I believe it wouldn't work anymore. So it would...
Probably has its own miniature power supply, which wouldn't last a long time, but it would have enough power for a short period of time.
Perhaps...
The question is, do we wish to tip our hand at this stage?
Well, perhaps we don't tip the hand if it was weather that messed with the comms unit.
I could try to make it look like that.
I think we would need to hide the ship first, Aelin.
In both settlements, I have noticed that the entire non-human population has been executed. This is odd, but not so odd if Cerberus is involved.
In my past, again, what knowledge we have of indoctrination, indoctrination just seemed to affect humans and other races equally. It didn't
seemed to affect everyone equally. Yeah. There'd probably would have been some resistance shown by young people. It depends on the race whose brains were still developing, because it's developing and the indoctrination is trying to redevelop your brain. But it's only a small amount. Beyond that, no, indoctrination seems to everyone the same.
And with my medical roles, from what you sort of mentioned that they had sort of just been peacefully standing in a line, it doesn't look like any of these people who were executed resisted in any way.
Oh no, very, very clean shots. Straight through the middle of the forehead.
Perhaps they were controlled, and then, yes, went to their deaths without complaint.
You're right. It is quite upsetting that these kills seem to be a lot cleaner than any of my assassination attempts from my previous work.
Maybe be a better assassin.
That's your takeaway from this?
What? I'm trying to be the best. Somebody's trying to steal my thunder.
I mislike this greatly.
Well, while they're having this discussion, I'm going to try to get the pieces off of this comm relay. And can I use
Before you do
my
that,
Yes.
your passive investigation is 19.
Okay.
Which is good. Because as you're about to start disassembling this, you notice that it is hooked up in such a way that it has a little trip sensor, and if you try and detach it, or if it loses power, it will blow up. And if you fail to detach it properly, it will also blow up. However, if you do detach it properly, because of your crit before, you could potentially rewire the VI a little bit. You might be able to get an upgrade for your ship.
I get on a voice comment, and I'm just...
Okay, so here's a little bit of a problem. It's kind of wired like a bomb. It could be good if I disarm it and help us with the ship, or if I don't disarm it properly, I could blow up. Oh, I could blow up.
So you mean it is a bomb and not like a bomb?
Yeah, it's wired so that if I don't do it right, it'll go off. But if I do it,
I could maybe help with that.
how could you help me with this? Because then if I blow up, then you blow up too.
Well, I have tools of some kind.
Okay. What kind of tools?
The tools for disarming traps.
Oh, that could come in handy. So Gek and I can try to disarm this, and either we blow up or we don't blow up, and the ship gets some special stuff.
My vote would be for leaving it in place. Again, we do not...
We're disarming it!
Oh.
Do you rush over and start trying to disarm it? Oh no, okay, I immediately will jump in and start helping because I don't think I can stop Gek.
Okay. So to disarm it, at least disarm effectively the trip sensor for when you pull it off. You'll still need to successfully shut it down. You'll need to make a thieves' tool roll. And it will be dexterity, because you're trying to very carefully remove the trip sensor.
If anything helps me. Nope. All right. Thieves' tools. Woohoo!
Okay. Lessie, Gek.
Yeah?
Both of you at ground zero.
You wouldn't get advantage for Leslie trying to help?
No, she was going to have to make the other roll. Because she's not training thieves' tools. This is just the trip sensor.
Gek.
Oh god. You will need to make Constitution saving throws because you're at ground zero. Like, it's not a dex save, it's a con save.
So you're saying it blows up?
It blows up. Oh yes.
Okay. Okay.
And just as it blew up, Edgar was on the comms again. It's like, perhaps we should reconsider this. I urge you to, and then got cut off by the explosion.
Urge you to.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Oh.
Okay, both
Okay.
of you pass your con saves, so you'll take half damage, and then it's you'd both take 100 points of damage. I rolled 2 10s. I'm sorry about this. I maxed out my damage roll.
I'm unconscious.
I am also here. Wait, I'm down, but I have revival unit. So when you're reduced to 0 hit points, but not killed outright, you drop to 1 hit point instead.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm net -7.
Okay. There is a huge explosion, powerful enough that your Mass Effect field on your actual ship almost goes down. Lessie and Deba, both of you are blown from the top of the building. Lessie, you find yourself dazed and unconscious on the ground at the base of the ship. Deba, body hits the side of the ship, and Edgar looking out the viewport of the cockpit, you see and a Drell just hits the window and goes and is at the base of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Deba, you're bleeding out.
Since I have 1 hit point, I'm still conscious,
You
right?
are still conscious, and you are near Deba.
I'm going to start crawling over to him, and I'm going to use my proficiency in my medical kit on him.
Okay. That will stabilize him if you can get
Okay.
a 15.
A 16.
Deba's now stable.
Okay. As he's coming to.
You really shouldn't touch the... You gotta check the wires first next time, okay?
Deba's actually colorblind. He never said, but he can't see which one's the red wire.
I'll give you a class in which wires to look for, because there's a color system.
We can try it on the next one.
Yeah, on the next one.
And I roll over onto my back and just lay there on the ground. Do I have any holes in my suit?
Luckily, no, because it only happens on a crit.
Okay.
So I would have said on a failure on your saving throw, it would have happened, but no. That was an anti-tank mine equivalent. It did ×10 because it's designed against vehicles and buildings. The entire comms reel and all evidence of that is now gone. There is no evidence that device was ever planted. I also then rolled maximum on 2d10, which I'm sorry about that.
I don't think you are. Just
I'm not
Okay.
sorry. It was hilarious.
Well, Edgar's gonna bustle out of the ship and go, "Oh, are you all right?"
Let's get them to the med bay. We have one of those.
Yes.
Is anyone's else ears ringing?
Are you
Like
guys
a high
talking?
What?
Are you talking?
No,
I would
I
hope-
don't. I'm not hungry.
I would hope, Gek, that this would be a lesson to you, but I know that hope is in vain.
Let's get them on the ship into med bay, and we've probably got like a Medigel dispenser in the med bay.
Your Medigel is on your person, but if you want to, you can take a long rest, and people can regain hit points, etc. And
yeah, I think we'll need to take a long rest, or we'll use all our Medigel.
That was 200 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you took 100 because you passed.
Oh right, so yeah. That's why I'm alive.
Yeah, otherwise you'd have been instant killed. I'm sorry, I didn't expect to roll damage maximum that could lethally kill you in episode 1. Hey, to solve your Gek problem.
Oh, well.
Aww.
Don't worry, I've got a backup character in mind if you need them. So, while you want to heal for your long rest, and you want to stay in town, or do you want to go to the port hub? Or do you want to go investigate another township? Just don't maybe poke anything?
Yeah, we might as well investigate some other townships while these two are recovering.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to investigate the 2 other ones that are mentioned as having not sent shipments in time?
Yes.
Okay. Over the course of the next few hours, you pop to both of those. Exactly the same MO. One of them had no non-human population, and you didn't find a single body. The other one had quite a high non-human population. It was a largely well, not largely, but it had a very large Turian minority. And in the center of town, you did find 32 Turians.
Cerberus, if they are responsible for this, we'll pay in blood.
How is Rin doing, by the way?
Non-responsive.
Okay.
Seemingly, vaguely, like a dissociative state would be the best term.
Continue monitoring her brain scans and whatnot. I guess, do we want to return to the main port, the one that we were docked in before?
I don't want to while these 2 are out. I'd rather keep away from a lot of unfriendly humans.
Orbit?
We can keep an eye out for the Geth.
Sure, yeah, go up to orbit. And I guess might as well see if we can find the Geth again.
Okay, sure. Do you want to scan specifically for the Geth, or do you want to just keep a monitor on your local space? Local space means you'll only detect the Geth if they actually come into the planet's area. Geth is more like a specific looking for them.
Specifically looking for them, I think.
Okay, make me a scan roll.
Investigation, yes?
Mm-hmm. 9.
Nope.
Fortunately, it's probably that the explosion, put all your sensors out of alignment, so you're going to have to do a lot of recalibrating. Garrus would be proud.
Well, you know what? I'm going to use luck on this, because we're about to take a long rest anyway. 24.
Oh, do you have the luck feat?
Yes, I do.
Okay. 24. Okay. There is a very faint reading. Probably the Kuiper Belt. That the Geth ship is out there somewhere. You can get a glimpse of it now and again, as it seems to be on one of the Kuiper Belt objects, or very near to a Kuiper Belt object, using it as cover.
Okay. Well, we know where they are. While the others are recovering, I'll just sort of find time to speak to Eileen.
What do you suggest should be our next course of action?
Well, didn't you sign us up for a painting class tomorrow?
Yes. That was before we knew of the possible involvement of the Geth, still following the Cerberus lead, which, given the execution of all non-humans in the settlements we found, I think they may still be involved somehow.
For the settlements, were they all in a line going in a certain direction? Was there a pattern, an obvious pattern for them?
If you want to try and work out a pattern, give me a investigation roll. And given that you and Poe are working on this together, whoever wants to can make the roll.
You should, because my ints. I will help with an investigation roll. Because if we can figure out which township settlement might be next, we could go there and scan.
Oh.
Sorry, am I making the roll?
Yes, I have a 0.
Oh, okay.
Plus 0, so yeah, please.
So let's go with me. 26.
Okay. The scanning, and this will take a little time over the long rest. You did start your long rest early, so this is going to be towards the end of it. You quickly come to the conclusion that it seems to be targeting settlements the furthest from the sensors around Thanatos, because Thanatos has the main planetary sensor. Obviously, they're all still in range of the planetary sensor. It's designed to get, coverage on most this side of the planet. But the field is weaker over certain parts of the meadows because of the volcanic, metals embedded in the ground there. It makes it somewhat weak. So a low-flying spacecraft can kind of avoid a lot of the planetary scans by just flying close to the ground and coming in over that flat land. If it came in from the east, it would have to go over the mountains, which means altitude, which means it would get scanned. But by coming in flat, it can actually avoid that. And it does seem to be that the settlements that have been targeted are the ones furthest away from, and thus easier to get into and out of without being scanned from Thanatos. The next one to be targeted would be, at a guess, if I pick up my notes, Phobos.
And I will take us in that direction.
Okay. Let's see, Deba, you kind of finish your long rest about now. So you can max your HP and shield out again. You'll have spent some hit die. Let me just check the your ship, because I believe your first aid gives you oh no, your first aid on the ship just gives you maximum short rest hit dice. So yeah, you'll still lose half your hit dice as you spend them in the long rest. No, sorry, tell a lie. That's you get half your hit dice back. You never spent any hit dice, you just get your HP back. Tell a lie. I'm just lying. You get full health, full shield back. You're good.
Because 5e is insanely forgiving.
Yes. However, as you head down, it's not the end of the night. It's about middle of the night because you started before nighttime with your long rest. You didn't scan. You just went in. You get into range of another vessel. One already hovering over the township of Phobos. One that immediately locks onto you. And that we would be going into combat if we didn't have 15 minutes left. So we're going to call it here, and we're going to end 15 minutes early. Next episode, as you're diving down through the atmosphere, we're going to have a space battle over a settlement, which could, all kinds of things could go wrong. And we'll be back next week with that. So that's where we'll end it for today. Hope you've enjoyed the first part of our 4-parter of Mass Effect Mercs. Right, let's go through it. You can find everyone till next week. I'll go through all of the announcements after that, and then we'll go through any tips we've got. So let's start off with the newest person here. Bunny, who are you wanting to do, and where can we find you?
Stop doing that. I'm Bunny. I'm Wing Linus on Twitter and on Twitch, but honestly on Twitch, I'm just moderating a bunch of channels. I don't really stream. But yeah, you can... There's a Roll20 Community Roundtable on Wednesday night if you all want to go and ask the devs and staff a bunch of questions. And I'll laugh. It's great. So that's me.
Okay. Katie, what about you?
Hi, I'm Katie Peters Plays. I had a lot of fun today. I'm super stoked for next week. Yeah, I play sci-fi and horror games on my channel if you want to come hang out. And yeah, I'm going to prepare all week for this space battle. I'm going to try to help the team. Yeah, like survive this. But yeah, today was fun. Thank you for having me, and thank you all for watching.
Okay. Mark, what about you?
Hello, I'm Mark Meir. You can find me at Mark_Meir on Twitter, Mark Meir on Instagram. I am on the Codename Entertainment Twitch doing Improvised Champions of the Forgotten Realms with Christina Ariel every Monday. You can catch me on the Stitch of Fate podcast, Pod by Night. That is a Vampire the Masquerade actual play podcast, and we are starting our season 2 very soon. And later today, you can actually catch me on the official Dungeons and Dragons Twitch. I'll be playing with the gang from D4 as they wrap up their adventures in Waterdeep. I'll be playing Kaiservex, the Dragonborn Cleric of Bahamut. And of course, I am always available on Cameo for all your Mass Effect catchphrase-related needs.
And of course, Tyler.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I play this wonderful character named Gek that is very egotistical and annoying and chaotic, but I love him. But I stream on Twitch. I play a bunch of different games. I do a bunch of different things. You can follow me at Apocalypto_12 all over social media. I have my YouTube channel. That one is not Apocalypto_12 because YouTube doesn't allow underscores. But if you just search Tyler Scheid, you'll probably find it. Go follow and support these amazing people where they work and do their stuff because I've been having so much fun in this game already. And support Roll For It as well. So, go ahead.
Cool. Which button should I use today? That one.
Regretfully, hello, I am Enter Elysium. You can find my YouTube at youtube.com/Enter Elysium or twitch.tv/Enter Elysium. I'm currently playing a lot of Aurora 4X with roleplay and interactive elements. There's even an election going on right now. Additionally, I also play Dyson Sphere program and want to stream more of that in the coming week. That's the thing. Cool.
Okay, reminder about our announcements. There is today's supporter, Ashley the Dice Dragon. Thank you very much for being all the supporting and doing all the things and being the dragon. Thank you very much indeed. Allows us to pay the majority of our cast costs. In addition, Mass Effect CSEC final character sheets are out on the Patreon, and Mass Effect Merc sheets are coming soon. So if you want to see their craziness, there you can see it. There'll also be some basic information. There'll probably be the ship, the Megara, the what's it called, the Thermachus, which is their little rover thing, plus some information on the Hades Gamma cluster, and also the settlements of the Acheron system. And the Ascension enemy stats are also coming soon on Patreon, so look out for those. Right, I'm going to go look if we had any tips today. No tips today, so that's it from us, and we'll catch you again next week. Until then, maybe don't let Gek try and disable the anti-vehicle weapons.
What, we have 2 more tries, maybe? Come on.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Bye, everyone.